Washington winning the toss. They will be receiving, so we'll have to wait at least a series to find out how that test is going to evolve. Nick Lowry will be kicking off for Kansas City, and set to return is number 21, Mike Nelms, one of the premier return artists in the National Football League. And we are underway on a gorgeous afternoon. The temperature in the low 80s. It is Nelms to the 15, to the 20, to the 30. And returns near the 40-yard line. Ken Thomas is the man who finally stopped him. Let's look at the offense. It'll be Joe Theismann. The running back will be John Riggins. Garrett, Walker, and Warren are the receivers. 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends. That'll be the set. And there are the Hogs, the offensive line. Jacoby, Grimm, Bostic, May, and Stark. 37 yards for Nelms on the opening kickoff return. Theismann's the quarterback. He goes to work at the Washington 40-yard line, first down. And he comes out throwing. And it is complete to Charlie Brown. 49-yard line. It'll be second down and 1. Lucius Smith is the man who stopped him. Let's look now at that Kansas City defense. Basically a 3-4, good front 3, still Kramer and Bell. Bell having an excellent year. Linebackers, Jackson, Blanton, Walker, and Howard. And the secondary, as you can see, they're going to be tested. Green, Smith, Burris, and Cherry. Second and 1. Riggins, the remaining back. This will be the standard set. We'll see the wide receivers. We'll see Rick Walker, the tight end, split out in flex. We'll see a lot of motion. Riggins gets the call. He needed less than a yard, and I think that he picked it up just across the 50, and he'll have the first down. Nose tackle, Ken Kramer, Thomas Howard. We're there for Kansas City. Were you surprised that they came out throwing?
No, I wasn't, Charlie. I think when people come in to play the Washington Redskins, they think, first of all, that they have to stop John Riggins and the run. And I think Joe Theismann is smart enough to know that we may be able to throw some on first down. I think he's going to throw some to set up his run today.
First down, Washington at the 50. Riggins, right side. He has 3 yards to the 47-yard line. It'll be second down and 7. Mike Bell and Art Still, the 2 defensive ends for the Kansas City Chiefs, team up to stop him there. He does get a lot of work. 27 carries in the first ball game against the Dallas Cowboys that they lost. 27 carries against the Philadelphia Eagles last week. A look at the young head coach, John Makovic, 39 years of age. He'll be 40 on October the 11th. Virgil C. has checked into the offense, second and 7. And it is Riggins to the 44-yard line. So it'll be third down and 4. And that was almost a passing down, and yet the Redskins will stay with Riggins in that situation.
Well, I think you'll see the Washington Redskins doing a lot of running in situations where other teams would pass because they feel very strongly about their offensive line and about Riggins. What you see the Redskins doing now is a lot of motion, and what they're doing is kind of finding out how the Kansas City Chiefs defensively are reacting to it so they can find a weakness if there is one.
This is a passing down. Riggins is out. Giaquinto and Washington come into the set. They're both there as receivers. Third down and 4. Pass is fired low, but complete to Charlie Brown. They say no, he trapped it. It's incomplete. Deron Cherry, the free safety, had the coverage. Let's take a look at that from the end zone.
We see man-to-man coverage. Theismann has him open, just throws the ball a little bit low, had double coverage. Brown did a good job of coming straight back for the ball. Here you see an isolation of Brown going down, reads the double coverage, and when you read the double coverage, get away from him, come back, get the yardage. Had the ball in his gut, he must have dropped it.
Bobbled it there just onto the ground, couldn't pull it in. Jeff Hayes will be kicking, 39.3-yard average. Anthony Hancock is back along with Deron Cherry. Oh, he hangs this one up, fair catch. They'll stay away from it. They want it to roll in the end zone, and it does for the touchback. So Kansas City will have the ball on their own 20-yard line, and their first opportunity to move on offense following that 44-yard kick of Jeff Hayes. Offense of Kansas City. Bill Kenny will be the quarterback with Jarrell Thomas, Billy Jackson, the 2 running backs, but not a lot of speed there. Carlos Carson having a great year. Anthony Hancock, Ed Beckman starting in place of Willie Scott at tight. Him and Scott will play almost as much. Offensive line, Herkenhoff, Buddy, Rush, Condon, and David Lutz.
Now, Charlie, I was surprised that the Washington Redskins didn't down that ball inside the 10-yard line. They are known around the National Football League as probably the premier team, special teams, and they have been very good on punt coverage.
Kansas City opens up, throwing to Carlos Carson, and it is complete at the 28-yard line. It'll be second down and 2. Let me make a name correction. It's David Lutz, of course. Everybody knows that. I have a friend at home named Dave Lutz, and it's a mistake of mine. So erase that one. Now let's go to the defense. We'll see a four-man front with Liebenstein, Butts, Grant, and Manley, with Mr. D on the right side, Kaufman, Olkowitz, and Malott, the linebackers. And that secondary, and they'll be throwing at him today, Green, Dean, Coffey, and Murphy. Second down and 2. We have motion, and we have motion by the offense, and that was Lutz on the right side. And, of course, once that you go on that offensive line, tackle to tackle, 3 or 4 point stance, you cannot move. If you move, it's an automatic call.
The tight end was moving, but I think the offensive line was moving too. What happens there is the tight end will go in motion and get one of the defensive people to move, and the defensive man will then draw the offensive man. Of course, it's an offensive foul.
The only way it can be called on the defense is that if he comes in and makes contact.
Makes contact, or the ball is snapped while he is in the neutral zone.
Now, this is interesting. They are calling this against Washington. Let's see the explanation from Bob Frederick. So there must have been contact.
Encroachment on the defense, number 79.
It's on Liebenstein. Encroachment is moving across the neutral zone and making contact prior to the ball being snapped. So it carries with it a first down with the yardage, of course. Not an automatic first down. 33-yard line, first down, Kansas City. Billy Jackson. Jackson pops through. He's got a first down to the 45-yard line. A gain of 12. Ken Coffey made the tackle. Jackson looking very quick. And he's not known for his speed, but good quickness on that play.
Let's take a look at it from the end zone. There's a good block by Buddy. Big hold. You know, the Washington Redskins are known for being very tough against the run. That's the first thing they try to do is shut down the run and force a team to pass. I think they may be looking for Kansas City to be throwing the ball a little bit more than they are right here. And
you saw that Willie Scott, number 81, was in for a block. Of course, he and Beckman will be alternating as a messenger service at tight end. From the Kansas City 45, it is complete. 35, 31-yard line. Going to number 82, Anthony Hancock. And so the explosive offense of Kansas City capitalizing this time on Vernon Dean, a defensive right cornerback.
We see Kenny and doing just the thing we talked about in the pregame show, man-to-man coverage. Big play people of the Chiefs are their wide receivers. An excellent throw. Vernon Dean covering him, but not close enough. Big play for the Kansas City Chiefs.
And a gain of 24 yards to the 31-yard line of Washington.
Look for some blitzing pretty soon here, Charlie.
We have no score, 9:52. Time remaining, first quarter, Chiefs on the move. Kenny to throw. Has time deep in the corner, overthrows. Pattern was cut off by Henry Marshall. Marshall went deep at the coverage. He came back. Darrell Green was on him. And then he cut off the pattern. What happened, Bob?
Well, the Redskins crossed him up a little bit there. They dropped into a zone coverage. That was a man-to-man route. Kenny was hoping that he was going to get a corner route to Marshall in the end zone. The cornerback had nothing of it, sat back into the end zone, and waited for the ball. Kenny just overthrew it intentionally.
So it is second down and 10. Beckman's back in at tight end. Henry Marshall in as a wide receiver. He's to the far side. Carson is wide to the near side. And Beckman now flexes out. Into coverage, almost intercepted. Ken Coffey and Darrell Green were there for the Redskins. Marshall, the intended receiver.
You'll see a strong safety blitz from Kenny's left side. You'll see Coffey coming in right there. Gets rid of it, putting a little bit of heat on him. When they cross the 40, across the 30-yard line, the Redskins have a tendency to blitz them to get them out of field goal range.
And they now have 5 men in the secondary with Anthony Washington coming in. And it's third down and 10. Now you have to throw.
I don't think you're forcing the Chiefs to throw in this situation, Charlie. I think they're looking forward to it.
From the shotgun. As the man open, it is there, number 85. Ed Beckman loses the ball when he hit the ground. He may have had possession, no. Flag was dropped back at the 40-yard line, though. The umpire, John Keck, said no, he does not have possession and control. We'll take another look, but remember, there's still a flag back upfield.
Man-to-man coverage, and Kenny reads it well, throwing to Beckman over the middle. Excellent throw. He's got it there. The ground cannot cause a fumble. It looks to me like he catches this ball and has possession of it. Right there, he has possession.
And he pulls it in.
Hits the ground, the ball comes out.
And you're right, the ground cannot cause a fumble. In our opinion, that is a bad call.
Offensive holding.
Wouldn't have made any difference.
Number 72.
Our friend David Luce having a little bit of problem today. He gets called for offensive holding. I'm sorry, David, if I mispronounced your name. That caused all these problems.
He's going to have his hands full today. He's a rookie from Georgia Tech, a first-year player. In passing situations, he's going to have to be blocking against Tony McGee, probably the second-best pass rusher on the Redskins.
3rd down and 20, the penalty going back to the Washington 41-yard line. Kenny scrambling, throwing incomplete. Saving the yardage on the sack. Barry Brooks was bringing him down. Billy Jackson, the intended receiver, at about the 32-yard line.
We're going to see a lot of this all day, Charlie. The thing that the Redskins like to do is put pressure on the quarterback. That's why they feel like they can play man-to-man coverage in their secondary, even though they have a rookie starting at left corner, a second-year man at right corner, and a first-year player at strong safety.
Now, there is no wind. Here's a field goal attempt of 58 yards from the 48-yard line. 58-yard attempt by Nick Lowry. Bill Kenny is holding. And he sails this one. Does it carry? Yes, it does! From 58 yards away. Nick Lowry has the Kansas City Chiefs on the boards with a 58-yard field goal. It's a 3-0 ball game.
Jets on defense have Mark Gastineau at it on this play. So New England runs right around his side. 38 yards for Tony Collins and a touchdown. New England leads it 7-0. Back to Washington.
Thank you, Lynn. We saw New England last year and last week. And you said in the 4th quarter, if they got some offense going, it would carry over, and so far it has.
It looked like that paid off for him.
Nick Lowry kicking off. Nelms and a teammate battling for it. That is Evans. On a little miscue, and Nelms wanted the football.
I think what happens on those, Charlie, what they tell Nelms is you take anything you can get. And possibly Evans didn't think he could get that far over to the sideline. Certainly Nelms thinks he can get there. And he did. It's just a mix-up in the... You got to have some communication back there, but I'm sure Nelms can take anything he can get to.
So it'll be on the 15-yard line.
And I think Gibbs would like to have him get to a lot of those kickoff returns.
The Redskins now, that is including today, 519 plays without a fumble. They do not make mistakes. Heisman comes out throwing. And it is to Riggins coming out of the backfield. That is only the 3rd reception for Riggins this year. That's correct. Yes, it is only the 3rd. Charlie Jackson for the Chiefs is the man who picked him up.
Riggins used to be an excellent receiver, still is. The Jets, when he was playing for the New York Jets, caught a lot of passes, but with the offense that the Redskins are using today, he's not catching a lot of footballs. He's more or less running a lot of them and throwing it to the 2 tight ends.
Gain of 4, 2nd and 6. Riggins, number 44, the running back. He's in motion. So now we're into a passing attack. And the blitz. And it's picked up, but Theismann has to throw it away over the head of Riggins. But he was just avoiding the loss. As once Riggins went in motion, here came the Kansas City defense.
a little blitz, putting some pressure on Theismann. They don't want to let him sit back there and just pick him apart. Kansas City is not the only team that blitzes. Washington and blitz. Both of these defensive teams, Charlie, are very aggressive defensive, and you'll see a lot of big plays in this ball game today.
Theismann has completed 2 of 4 for 12 yards. He'll be throwing again. Nick Giaquinto and Joe Washington come in. Third down conversions, 42%. Third down and 6. Giaquinto showing motion far side. Theismann back. Into double coverage, and it is incomplete. Charlie Brown, the intended receiver, so it will be 4th down and 6. Deron Cherry and Lucius Smith were picking him up, and that means that Jeff Hayes will come into punt.
Just excellent coverage on the part of Lucius Smith. Man-to-man coverage. He had Cherry helping him deep. That was just a little fly pattern, and it takes an excellent throw if the coverage is as good as it was. Good coverage by Smith.
And so Kansas City, with Anthony Hancock set for the return, an opportunity to have good field position. Jeff Hayes with a 39.3-yard average starting the afternoon. There is some pressure. He gets good hang time. Taken at the 35-yard line. And excellent special teams coverage by the Redskins. That's almost their signature. Stuart Anderson, as always, was down. Kansas City has the lead, a 58-yard field goal. 3-0. We'll be back in a moment. It's left to go. We're in the first quarter at RFK Stadium, Washington, D.C. The 124th consecutive sellout. This is Charlie Jones along with Bob Greasy. Kansas City leading with a club record 58-yard field goal by Nick Lowry, and the Chiefs have the ball on their own 37-yard line. And a flag is down as Willie Scott is on the receiving end for Kansas City, and normally when this happens, it is offensive holding. And that's what it'll be. So twice in the ball game, the Kansas City has been hit by an offensive holding penalty, which, looking back at the statistics of last year, is the most call penalty of them all, like 16% of the penalties, offensive holding.
Offensive holding, number 65.
On Tom Condon, so it'll be 1st down and 20.
I guess they get an opportunity to hold a lot, Charlie, because of all the passing going on in the league now. Kansas City, in that play, 1st down situation, was in a 3-wide receiver offense and 1 back, something that Makovic says he could do at any time.
Carson's now in the slot on the right side, and he goes in motion. Play action. Throwing deep, and it is caught. Pass is complete at the 48-yard line by Anthony Hancock. And that could well be the 1st down, a gain of 21 on the play.
Excellent throw by Bill Kenny. Little play-action pass, gets outside the pocket, away from those big defensive linemen. Good throw on the run. It's a little double zone coverage where there's 5 short zones and 2 deep, and he got behind the first man, dumped it over him. Big completion for the Kansas City Chiefs.
A gain of 21 and a 1st down. So Kansas City, as we have seen so far, has been able to move offensively.
Well, they've controlled the ball, too, by throwing it, Charlie.
Kenny, far side, has a man all alone. Bill Coffey for the defense. Carlos Carson says he has it. Are they going to rule him out of bounds? That's what he seems to be arguing about, but I thought he had it in bounds. And he's waved away, and let's take another look.
He waved him away, all right. So that we don't need your help today, Carlos. Let's see. He's got the ball. Both feet are in bounds. Knocks him out of bounds. That's a good catch.
And that is the ruling.
Ball comes out after he's out of bounds.
So he's at the 31-yard line. Here it is.
It was a legal completed catch.
So the ball now at the Washington 31-yard line. Back-to-back 21-yard plays by the Kansas City offense.
Let's see if the Redskins go to a blitz this play or the next play, Charlie. They say they like to blitz when they get out in this situation.
Jackson has 3 yards to the 28. Darrell Grant is there. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
We're blitzing. It was a blitz to stop the run, as Richie Pettibone, the defensive coordinator, likes to do. Blitzes on first down to stop the run, or when a team is moving down the field, trying to get in field goal range, they like to blitz to get them out of that situation.
How do you differentiate blitz to stop the run, blitz to stop the pass?
They have different blitzes, and we can get into that a little bit later.
Let's get into it now. We're liable to see a blitz here. Don't make me wait, Bob. 2nd and 7. Beckman in motion. Little play action. High, wobbly pass. Had a man in the open, but double coverage by the time the ball got there. Henry Marshall, the intended receiver, Darrell Green, knocked it away. Mark Murphy was also. That was a terrible pass.
It was. I don't know if he was hit as he was throwing the ball, or was he releasing it, or what, but here we'll see the wide receiver going down. It's double coverage.
Henry Marshall.
Green's on the outside. Marshall, 89, splits him like he should. The ball was just underthrown. He had a good opportunity to catch that ball if he would have thrown it to the back of the end zone, where Marshall could have run underneath it.
3rd down and 7. Tony McGee and Perry Brooks check into the defense. McGee, number 78, the designated pass rusher for the Redskins. A total of 101 sacks in his career. Blitz is on, pass is incomplete. It was Mel Kaufman coming. Scott was the closest receiver, but Kenny was simply getting rid of the football, and here comes Nick Lowry. Well, within his range, as we have seen, his range today is 58 yards.
If they can make him from there, he should be able to at least have the range for this one.
Lowry on the year is only two of 2. 19 yards on his previous attempt, and then of course here hitting from 58 yards away. This will be from the 37, an attempt of 47 yards. So he's put some pressure on himself. You want to say 11 yards less, this is a gimme. But it's not, of course. Kenny Holden. And this one he hooks, and he misses it to the left.
Just showing that he's human, I guess, Charlie, huh?
Just over 7 minutes left to go. We're in the first quarter, and Kansas City leads 3-0.
Taking a kickoff from Pittsburgh on the 3. Roaches will break clear at Pittsburgh's 45, and he's gone. 97 yards. The first kickoff return for a touchdown against Pittsburgh in 13 years. Houston leads at 7-3. Back to Washington.
Thinking, and that's interesting. Houston leading.
It's a long time for 13 years not to have a kickoff run back on you.
Here comes Washington now from their own 29-yard line. That, of course, the previous line of scrimmage on the missed field goal attempt. Riggins, the remaining back, and John gets the call. Has a good hold of the left side. And he's out to the 33, maybe let's call it the 34-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 5. Joe Jacoby opened up the hole. James Walker and Charles Jackson closing it for Kansas City. Career rushing attempts, as you can see, John Riggins is 5th on that list. Riggins is in one respect, a slow starter because he's looking for where to go. He reads the offensive block so well. Theismann to throw, a little pump fake. And he comes back to Riggins. First down. 48-yard line. So excellent coverage by Kansas City. He had to look for everybody, and he finally found John. His second reception of the ball game.
It was a big play by Joe Theismann. He makes this play. He's like a caged cat. Doesn't know what to do with it. He's got good protection. His receivers keep moving around. That's a situation where they run that play probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 times a day at practice, maybe 4 or 5 times in a game, and probably Riggins never catches that ball because it's gone by the time it gets back to him. That situation, they needed him. He was there. Theismann made a good play.
14 yards, first down, 48-yard line. Washington in their own territory, trailing 3-0. Here's Riggins. He tries the right side. He's smothered. He may pick up a yard on the play. He may not pick up anything. We'll have to wait till they mark it. Jerry Blanton, number 57. Inside left linebacker from Kentucky in his 5th year is the man who brought him down.
You know, Charlie, a lot of teams are going to the 2 tight end offense. But in talking with John Makovic, he says Washington presents a bigger problem because of the movement of the tight ends. They don't show you what final formation they're going to be in until just before the snap of the ball, and that creates problems for the defense.
Riggins coming out. Joe Washington replacing him. Virgil C in motion. Here's Washington. He's closed up, jumps to the outside with that great speed to the 40 and then out of bounds. So Washington with a big gainer. He's coming off of off-season surgery to both knees. Albert Lewis chased him out of bounds. And now Riggins will come back in. Washington will come out.
This looks like a bus station. All the players coming in and out of the ball game. What they're doing is situation substitution. If the Washington Redskins takes out John Riggins and put in their receiving backs, Giaquino and Washington, then the Kansas City Chiefs will go to their pass rushing situation with their nickel backs, and they get into a situation. Now Riggins is back in the game, and the first team rundown defense is in for the Chiefs.
A gain of 14 yards for Joe Washington. First down at the 38-yard line of Kansas City. Charlie Brown in motion. Here's Riggins right side, looking for some kind of an opening. Finds a yard to the 37. It'll be 2nd and 9. Dino Mangiero in on the tackle along with James Walker. As we'll see almost everybody now offensively and defensively because of situation offense and situation defense.
Exactly. Washington, if they're going to pass to catch up, they won't have Riggins in there. Now the Kansas City Chiefs, as you'll see, are substituting. They think it's going to be a pass situation. Washington is really in a good situation here because they don't necessarily have to throw with Riggins in the ball game because he is a good runner and can pick up 6 or 7 yards.
Kansas City has done a good job on Riggins. 6 carries, only 13 yards. Deep over the middle, and the receiver is overthrown. Gary Green picking up Virgil C., so it'll be 3rd down and 9 at the 37-yard line.
Sure, Joe Theismann would like to have that one back again. His wide receiver was open. He was inside the defensive back. Gary Green just threw it a little bit too much in front of him, but if you're going to miss it, that's the place to throw it. Throw it in front of him.
New England now leading the Jets by a score of 13-0 in the first quarter. So
the Jets are still in shock after losing to Seattle for the 7th time last week.
You may be right. Theismann 3 of 7 for 27 yards. 3rd down and 9. He'll be throwing here. We have motion, and the Chiefs defense comes off sides. The motion was forward by Don Warren, and then he stopped. He was the tight end, but he was in the slot. And it has to go against Kansas City because he came in and stopped. Ball had not been snapped.
It looked like the Chiefs were obviously anxious because they saw an opportunity to blitz. They were up there in a blitzing situation. And anytime you say to the linebackers, okay, go ahead and rush the quarterback, they get kind of anxious, Charlie.
Now, there is a gray area of the offense pulling the defense off. If it is an attempt to pull the defense off, it is a legal procedure, and that's what they're going to call. They say it is a blatant attempt to pull the defense offside.
False start, number 85 on the offense.
Now, that's interesting because they call it as a false start, but he was not on the line of scrimmage. He was a flanker.
Well, Don Warren, a tight end, saw the blitz coming also. I mean, the offensive obviously knows when the defense is going to blitz, and that is a situation that gets everybody's blood pressure up a little bit. He jumped a little bit too soon.
Green Bay leading 10-0, including a Stenerud 39-yard field goal. Theismann rolling out, throwing, and it is incomplete. Alvin Garrett, the intended receiver. Lucius Smith had picked up the coverage, and Mangiero was forcing Joe Theismann. So it will be now 4th down and 14. The line of scrimmage just outside the 41-yard line. So Jeff Hayes will come in and try and drop it inside the 10-yard line. Let the special teams covered. Anthony Hancock and Deron Cherry are set for a possible return.
It's a situation, an area of the field where they may go for a fake if they see it. Of course, they've got 10 or 12 yards to go. Probably won't see it here.
Fair catch is called for and taken at the 15-yard line by Anthony Hancock. So that stops the clock. Now with exactly 4 minutes left to go. We're in the first quarter. Kansas City leads 3-0. Nick Lowry with a club record 58-yard field goal. Today's telecast is presented by the authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast but the express written consent of the Washington Redskins and the National Football League is prohibited. Kansas City now from their own 16-yard line, first down. Kinney throws far side, and it is incomplete, overthrowing Carlos Carson. Vernon Dean picked up the coverage. defensive right cornerback for Washington, so it'll be 2nd down and 10. Now Kansas City has to throw.
Well, they have to throw or throw something in that category, like a draw play or a screen, something in the area where you're anticipating a hard rush and some coverage in the secondary. But if you're a Bill Kenny, you like to play against a team that's aggressive, that gives you some man-to-man coverage in the secondary, because you can hit some big plays and score some touchdowns against a blitzing type of aggressive defense.
He's completed 4 of 10 for 75 yards. Now, what's the defense giving him here?
They're giving him a different look and a lot of blitzing.
And an offsides and a penalty and an automatic 5 yards. Ken Coffey stopping Ed Beckman, who was on the receiving end. But it looked as if Washington was in the neutral zone when the ball was snapped.
The defense was offside, and the offense was also offside. We will replay the down from the previous spot.
You've had a little bit of everything.
So it's been a long day for Bob Frederick, our referee, here already. We've only played maybe 12 minutes of the first quarter, and there's been some penalties here I've never heard of before, Charlie.
It's different. We have a score in on the Pittsburgh-Houston game. Sound like a baseball score. Houston now leads 7-6. Gary Anderson is a 49 and a 35-yard field goal. Carl Roach has already mentioned a 97-yard kickoff return. Down goes over, 2nd and 10. Met at the line of scrimmage, Jarrell Thomas, stopped by the free safety, Mark Murphy.
It's a weak safety blitz. Here you see Lutz, the rookie tackle. Kaufman is blitzing. Here you'll see Murphy, 28, coming into screen. 29, they're getting a part of the tackle. This is a situation we've been talking about where Washington likes to stop your running game. If they think you're going to run, they're a high percentage team that likes to blitz.
So Tony McGee and Perry Brooks come in. They anticipate the pass. 3rd down and 10. Scott is in the slot on the right side. Kenny's pass is to Scott, and he pulls it down at the 26-yard line. It'll be in the neighborhood of the 1st down. Anthony Washington with the tackle. He's the nickel back. Let's see where the officials spot it. We'll take another look.
It was a good catch by Scott. They were throwing into man-to-man coverage. Scott goes down and breaks to the outside. 2 men inside and out of him. Good play. Big 1st down for the Chiefs to get out of their own end zone.
Well, not a 1st down yet, as the penalty markers will be coming out to check it. I think you're right, though. See if you're in mid-season form. Now, I notice Kenny is not throwing a very tight spiral today. It is a 1st down. You were right.
Well, he's probably got a few Redskins in his face that he's more worried about getting rid of it than throwing that perfect spiral.
Does that make it more difficult, though, for the receivers?
It makes it a little bit more difficult, yes. It's much easier to catch a ball that is not, the nose is just staying consistent rather than flopping around a little bit, which you'll get on a wobbly pass.
San Francisco and St. Louis are now tied at 7-7 in that ball game. 1st down, Kansas City, their own 26-yard line. Chiefs lead 3-0. Here's Jarrell Thomas, turns the corner, and is out of bounds on the far side at around the 33-yard line. Neil Olkowitz was there. For the defense, a gain of 7, so it'll be 2nd down and 3.
John Makovic said before the ball game that he wants to win on 1st down. He wants some 2nd and short situations. On the other side of the coin, the Redskins' history on 2nd and short has been to come and blitz. If they're going to run the ball, we're going to blitz them. So we may see some big plays on 2nd and short.
Are you surprised that the Chiefs have been able to move the ball against Washington today?
Well, I'm not surprised they moved it throwing the ball. I am a little bit surprised their running attack has been successful the few plays they've done it.
2nd and 3. Play action, rolling right. Going deep. Going to Anthony Hancock. It is incomplete. Now, Hancock, was he running a deep hook pattern? That's what it looked like.
He went down and broke to the outside and was covered, and Kenny was outside the pocket. He expected him then, when the timing wasn't right on the out, just to release on downfield.
Darrell Green was there for the Redskins. Here's a look.
Kenny's waiting for him to go upfield. That's one thing about working with new receivers in a new system, Charlie. They don't really have their timing down as well as they'd like to.
How long does it take to get your timing down?
You have to work with a receiver quite a bit. And when you're in a new system, which they are in John Makovitz's new system, it takes a little bit longer.
They're down 3. At the Kansas City 33, leading 3-0, so a plethora of threes. Kenny incomplete. And had a man open. That was Henry Marshall. As a defender, Vernon Dean had fallen.
You take a look at the defensive backfield for the Washington Redskins. They're in a little man-to-man situation. You see the two safeties dropping deep. Everybody else running close downfield. Marshall, number 89, in the red jersey there, breaks to the outside. The ball is just overthrown a little bit. He had Dean beat on the play.
This is the first punt for Kansas City. Jim Arnold, 32.5-yard average. Been very disappointing. Mike Nelm set for the return. They like to think of Arnold as a situation punter, but his distance has been very suspect, and now he shows what he can do. Nelms takes it at the 14-yard line. Hang time, 4.9 seconds, but Nelms with a good return. But that is the kicking that the Kansas City Chiefs have been expecting from Arnold. Trent Bryant down for Kansas City, but again, the Washington Redskins special teams with an excellent return, a 53-yard kick. We'll be back. It's left to go in the first quarter. Kansas City leading 3-0. Washington with the ball on their own 35. Riggins the remaining back, and Riggins is the ball carrier. And again, he's pretty well shut down by Kansas City. Has a yard to the 36. Mangiero is there along with Jerry Blanton for Kansas City. Dwayne Crutchfield has scored now for the New York Jets. So the score is New England 13, the Jets 7, with 11:48 left to go in the second quarter of that ball game. Second down and 9. There's the New England Jets score. Riggins, 44-yard line. A gain of 8. It'll be third down and 1. Lloyd Burris with the tackle, and that's typical John Riggins. You can stop him once, you can stop him twice, you can stop him 6 and 7. He's going to get you, though.
Well, he's big and strong enough, and their offensive line, the Hogs, are big and strong enough that they'll wear you down. Just because you stop them for a quarter doesn't mean they're going to stop them for the entire game. That time, Kansas City had some of their nickelbacks in there, and that's a frightful sight to see Riggins coming at you when you're a nickelback playing linebacker.
Wansley comes into the offense. Riggins is there, third down and 1. It is Riggins to the outside. He's cut down, tries to bounce forward with the ball for the first down. Lucius Smith with a good play, number 23 from Cal State Fullerton. Let's see where the officials spot it. It'll be short. The fans say go for it. The coaching decision will be to kick it.
This is a big play by Lucius Smith. Comes up and makes a big first down saving tackle of Riggins. Riggins is not brought down in the open field too often by one small defensive back.
So on fourth down, about a foot, Jeff Hayes will be kicking as a 38-yard average. Anthony Hancock, 38-yard average in the game here. Anthony Hancock is set for the return. Oh, he gets a good one off. Taken at the 10-yard line to the 15. Has about 5, maybe 6 yards on the return, and that is it. We have whistles sounding. A flag was dropped at the 9-yard line. That play should be, or could be, the last play of the first quarter. Of course, you know, on an offensive foul, you cannot extend a period. You can on a defensive foul. A punt of 46 yards. Quick score, Baltimore leading Buffalo 6-0 on a pair of field goals. So a long conference will be held here. We have had a lot of interesting things happen as far as the rules are concerned today, Bob.
A lot of penalties in the first quarter of play.
And a long first quarter of play, almost 41 minutes in length.
After a discussion, there will be no flag and therefore no foul, and it is the end of the first quarter.
So after that discussion, we know what we're going to do. We're going to commercial. Kansas City leads after 1 with 3 to go by a score of 3-0. 124th consecutive sellout here at RFK Stadium, but the fans have not had a lot to cheer about as Kansas City leads 3-0. Chiefs have the ball at their own 16-yard line. First down, Kansas City. Billy Jackson, the remaining back. Beckman showing motion. And it is Jackson, the ball carrier. Has 4 yards to the 20 where Rich Malott makes the tackle. It'll be second down and 6.
See the passing yardage for the Kansas City Chiefs. About the only thing that is really out of proportion there. Time of possession is in favor of the Redskins. But really, it's been a strange first quarter.
Is that right? Is that right? It seems as if Kansas City had the ball more than Washington. That's an interesting time statistic. Second down and 6. Here's the draw. Billy Jackson dropped for a loss. Rich Malott was there, and Don Liebenstein was there. This didn't fool anybody.
Malott on the left, coming in on a blitz. Comes in on the outside. Second and short situation. Like a blitz to keep you back in your own territory.
A loss of 5 to the 15. Third down and 11. So Tony McGee and Perry Brooks are in for the defense. They're the designated pass rushers. Hancock and Carson wide to the right side from the shotgun. Third and 11. Kenny's pass is complete. 30-yard line. 40-yard line cutback. Henry Marshall inside of the Washington 35 to the 33-yard line on a 3rd and 11. Mark Murphy and Anthony Washington make the tackle when everybody knew that Kansas City would be throwing.
Big play, Kansas City Chief. There's a blitz on the right side being picked up. That gives man-to-man coverage in the secondary. Marshall breaks the tackle. He's off to the races. Makes a good move here on Murphy. Cuts back. Big play for Kansas City. They need plays like this to stay in the ball game. They've controlled the ball with their passing game.
A gain of 52 yards on the play and a first down. And remember, it was 3rd and 11 at the Kansas City 15. Now at the Washington 33. Little play action on first down. Time to throw. Has it all alone. Pass is complete to Hancock. Hancock out of bounds at the 11-yard line. A gain of 22 yards on the play. The Chiefs are on the move.
Kenny with a play action pass. Vernon Dean comes in. Makes a move to the outside. It's a good move by Hancock. Up the sideline. Big play. Jammed by Dean. Dean then follows him inside. Doesn't stay back outside where he misses a big play by the Chiefs. First down pass.
Hancock, 3 receptions, 67 yards. The receivers are in the open.
They certainly are, and this is where we said the big play people are, the big play potential was for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Now at the Washington 11. Jackson, right side, looks for a block, cuts back. No, it's Jarrell Thomas, excuse me. And he is to the 5-yard line, so Jarrell picks up about 6 on the play, and it'll be second down.
If you get your passing game going the way the Kansas City Chiefs have, it'll open up some things for your running, and this is exactly what we're seeing. Makovic said before the game, we need to get some running game going too, and this is a good example of it right here.
At the 5-yard line, second down and 4. Of course, second down and 5 to score. Jackson is stopped after a yard, maybe 2, by Mark Murphy. Jackson from Alabama in his 3rd year. 97 yards rushing on the season coming into this ball game. Has 2 to the 3, so it'll be 3rd down and a couple.
They're
tough
very
tough to score against.
And they're very tough inside the 5-yard line. Very tough to run against. I would suspect that we're going to see some kind of a pass here for the Chiefs.
Hancock and Carson go wide to the right side. Then he fires. It is knocked down. Good defensive play. Mel Kaufman knocked it away, number 55. Kaufman, 6'2", 218.
Kaufman saves a touchdown because Hancock was open in the end zone. Here you see Kaufman just looking at him. He jumps into the air. It was a good move in the end zone by Anthony Hancock to get open. Kenny just couldn't get the ball to him. The reason he was standing there because he was covering the back that was in the backfield. If the back would have released out, Kaufman would have been out of there covering him.
From the 11-yard line, an attempt of 21 yards by Nick Lowry, who is 1 for 2. Hitting from 58 yards away, missing on the left side from 47. And this one is good. So Lowry now is 2 out of 3 in the ball game, and Kansas City leads by a score of 6-0. We have 11 minutes and 10 seconds left to go in the first half. 8 plays on that drive. It took 3:90. We'll be back in a moment. To make a correction, I gave you an interesting time of that last drive of 3 minutes and 90 seconds. Just wanted to see if you were alert. It's actually, of course, 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Nick Lowry will be kicking off. Mike Nelms is set for the return. He's the deep back. Evans and Wansley are off on the wing. But it will be Nelms at the 11-yard line. To the 20. Jumps left. Has room. 30. 40. 46-yard line. 35 yards on the return. Albert Lewis, Gary Green were there. Derwood Rockmore for Kansas City. Boy, Nelms is exciting to watch.
He's a big play man for the Washington Redskins. He's an offensive player, and the Washington Redskins take great pride in their special teams.
And we have a flag down. The penalty against the Redskins. He spotted the 35. Here's the call.
Illegal block on the kick return team, number 47.
It was on number 47, Greg Williams.
Nelms is a big play person. You got Mosley, you got Theismann, you got all their wide receivers, but when they go to their special teams, Nelms can make things happen, as he shows right here.
Joe Washington in the backfield.
He's open down the middle.
Goes to the wrong receiver. Could not see Joe Washington, who was wide open.
And I think all the crowd is seeing it, and Joe is reacting to somebody that said something, I think. But Washington released out of the backfield, right down the middle of the field, was wide open.
Who missed the coverage? You're supposed to pick him up.
I don't know what the coverage was on that play. It seemed like I was the quarterback with him, and you see it's so wide open. You say, throw the ball, but obviously it's much easier to see up here than it was where Joe was standing.
Does it make a difference the fact that he was rolling out? Is it harder to pick up somebody deep when you're rolling out?
It definitely is. And like we said, you may run that play, and 90% of the time you throw it to that wide receiver. You don't expect that back to be open down the middle. 2nd
and 10. Giaquinto and Washington in the offensive set. Virgil C. in motion. This is Washington. 43-yard line, a gain of 8. It'll be 3rd down and 2. Green Bay now leading the Rams 17-0. Ellen Dickey to John Jefferson touchdown pass. 17-0 Green Bay over the Rams. Deron Cherry making the stop along with Charles Jackson. That is the patch that all of the Kansas City Chiefs are wearing. That is a replica of the President's Medal of Bravery that was presented to Joe Delaney's family, and of course the number 37 for Joe Delaney, as you know, who died this past year in an attempt to save some youngsters swimming. 3rd down and 2. Riggins. That's not there. No gain. It'll be 4th down and 2. Jerry Blanton leading the Chiefs defense, and that means that Jeff Hayes will be coming in to kick the ball away. Swarming defense by Kansas City.
I've been very impressed by their defense the first quarter and a half that we've played here. Slanting to the left to stop Riggins. Stacked him up. Good play by Jerry Blanton, the leading tackler from last year, for this year and last year.
Jeff Hayes with a 40-yard average in the game. Anthony Hancock is set for the return. It is warm. The temperature in the low 80s. There is no wind. Good kick. Fielded at the 10-yard line. 4.6 seconds to hang time, and the special teams are there. This time led by Cronin the Barbarian. Peter Cronin is there as the Redskins lead the National Football League in nicknames. But Kansas City leads the game 6-0. We'll be back in a moment. Patient identification. This is the NBC television network.
WRC-TV, Channel 4, Washington, D.C.
Along with Bob Greasy, I'm Charlie Jones. Tom Condon having work done on his ankle. Bob Simmons has replaced him, number 73 at right guard. As Kenny throws to the right side, pass is complete to Carlos Carson, fumbles the ball, it goes out of bounds. So he, of course, will have the progression until the fumble, and that will be a first down from the Kansas City 16 to the Kansas City 28-yard line, a gain of 12. 6-0, Chiefs leading at 58-yard field goal by Nick Lowry at the 9:16 mark in the first quarter. That is a Kansas City record, breaking his old record by a yard. Lowry held it at 57 yards. Then he came back in the second quarter, opposite end of the field, splitting the uprights from 21 yards away. In between, he missed left from 47, so he's 2 for 3. All of the scoring, 6-0 Kansas City. But Kansas City has been able to move against the Washington defense, but not this time. James Hadnot, the ball carrier, and Dave Butts cut him down.
Dave Butts is big enough to play the entire left side of the Redskins defensive line. Very slanting. You'll see the guard pulling. Number 73, Simmons, who just came in. Butts gets through the hole and in there and knocks off the
James Hadnot.
Ball carrier, yes.
How big is Butts? 6'7", 295 pounds. So you were right. Loss of 3 to the 25, second and 13. Head coach John Mackovic with the Kansas City Chiefs in his first year as head coach of the National Football League. And he has good protection. Pass is complete. Just shy of the 30-yard line to Anthony Hancock. We'll mark it for 5. It'll be third down. Still around 8 to go as Darrell Green makes the tackle. Ed Beckman comes into that offensive set. Willie Scott comes out. They'll be the messenger service at tight end. There's Beckman, number 85, so we won't call it every time. But if we go to a double tight end, then they'll messenger service one of the wide receivers. Chicago and New Orleans now tied up at 10-10, a 27-yard field goal by Bob Thomas for the Bears. They're in the first quarter. Third down and 8 from the shotgun. Ricochet off of the shoulder pad, incomplete. Carlos Carson, the intended receiver. Darrell Green was there. Kenny has now completed 9 of 19 for 176 yards. It'll be fourth down. So Jim Arnold will come in to kick. His first punt was good for 53 yards. This is his second attempt. Lowest punting average of the NFL. Starting today, Mike Nelm set for the return. He gets another good one off. These are the 2 best kicks he has had this year. Taken at the 10-yard line. Nelms to the 20. Backs out of the traffic and then will be dropped at around the 19-yard line. And we have some pushing and shoving downfield. One of the officials running up to break it up. Hang time, 4.5 seconds. So another excellent kick. Trent Bryant was down on the coverage. 60 yards on this punt by Jim Arnold to go with a previous one of 53. Kansas City leads 6-0. The key. Interesting statistics.
What Mackovic wanted to do on the pregame, make some big plays on first down.
Play action, quick screen, left side. It is incomplete drop. Virgil C., the intended receiver. It'll be second down and 10 at the 20-yard line.
That's a very high percentage play there, Charlie. It's just a little quick screen out to the wide receiver. Theismann threw it into the dirt. Joe's missed on a couple of receivers that have been open, and it's bothering the Redskins that they can't get anything going. The Chiefs have stopped the running game, and Theismann is having an off day so far. He needs to get something going through the air to loosen up the run.
He's completed only 3 of 10 passes for 27 yards. 2nd and 10. Giaquinto and Washington in the offensive set. Here's Washington. Boy, he breaks through the hole in a hurry. 28-yard line, a gain of 8. It'll be 3rd down and 2. Deron Cherry makes the tackle. He gets there in a hurry.
He sure does. As opposed to Riggins, when they slip Joe Washington into the ball game, he hits the hole a lot quicker. And if they need some running, Washington can come in there and really add to the explosiveness of that offense.
A report on Tom Condon's ankle. It is a sprained ankle, and he may not play anymore today. Bob Simmons has replaced him when Kansas City moves on offense. 3rd down and 2. Washington with the ball. Theismann throwing behind Giaquinto. It is incomplete. 4th down and 2, and the Boo Birds start to come out at RFK Stadium. They don't wait.
It was a good call. He was wide open in the flat. Theismann just threw the ball behind him. I know how Joe feels right there. There are some days you come out and you just cannot get anything going. He had good protection, plenty of time to throw, and he threw the ball too far upfield. You see he's wide open and only needed 2 yards for the 1st down. Incomplete pass.
So Jeff Hayes will be punting to Anthony Hancock, and Kansas City could come up with good field position here. Another good kick. We've had an outstanding punting exhibition. Taken at the 25 by Hancock. He's to the 30. And then he's kind of wrestled out of bounds around the 33 of the 34-yard line by Reggie Evans. 4.3 seconds the hang time on that kick. We've got a timeout. The punt covered 47 yards. Matt Herkenhoff has come out of the offensive line for Kansas City. Ellis Gardner is in, so the 2 rookies from Georgia Tech, Abe Lutz and Ellis Gardner, teammates there, roommates on the road for Kansas City. Here in that offensive set. Over the middle, all alone is Hadnot. And James goes close to the 50-yard line. A pickup of 16 where Vernon Dean makes the tackle into 1st down. Something comes to mind.
Here we see, you see in the lower right of your screen, Dexter Manley just runs over Gardner, the rookie who just came in. Releases the ball to Hadnot. It's a good play. He was looking downfield. He wanted to throw the ball downfield. It was covered, so he dumped it off to Hadnot.
And Vernon Dean comes out. Brian Carpenter replaces him. 1st down, 50-yard line. John Makovic, for the last 2 years, was the quarterback coach for the Dallas Cowboys. And they were able, of course, to move against the Redskins. This ball bounced by Jarrell Thomas, takes a hop, picks it up, steps out of bounds. So perhaps he is bringing some of that magic of the offense of the Cowboys to Kansas City against the Redskins.
He may be. Here we see just a little pitch going left. The ball is certainly bouncing for the Kansas City Chiefs so far in this ball game.
Loss of 4. It'll be 2nd down, 14. All right, let's check the scoreboard. There it is. Jets still having their problems. New England leading 16-7. 2nd down, 14. Throwing back to Jarrell Thomas, and that pass was forward. He cannot throw it. He has to run with it. And he picks up about 6 yards to the 48-yard line of Washington. And the reason that I mention that so quickly is that Jarrell Thomas has thrown this year in the 1st game to Carlos Carson. But, of course, you can have only 1 forward pass. If you want to set up the other way, it has to be a backward pass.
This is a designed play all the way. Drop back in the pass, in the pocket, roll to your right, get the defense coming with you, and throw the ball back. But Kubin was back there in good shape. There you see number 50 doesn't make the play. Jarrell Thomas makes some yardage on its 3rd and 7.
47-yard line, Washington territory. Kenny throws 1st down at the 37-yard line to Willie Scott, the tight end. Ken Coffey with the tackle, and so the Kansas City offense continues to roll.
Even with 2 rookie offensive tackles on a passing team such as the Chiefs are, they're getting the job done. Good protection here. Linebacker comes up the middle, reads it very well, throws it right on the money. Kenny is playing very well under a very aggressive defense.
Now he's reading the linebackers to tell him who's open.
He's reading the linebackers. If it's a zone, he's going to throw in between them, which he did right there.
Washington, 37-yard line, first down, play action. Has pressure, steps forward, high wobbly pass to Ed Beckman. Well, Kaufman did the coverage, but Beckman was open. The pass was not well thrown.
No, it was a poor throw. He had him moving around a little bit. Poor throw on the part of Kenny, but he's doing very well. He's 12 of 23 for over 200 yards. It's interesting to watch Dexter Manley. Dexter Manley is having a field day over here on Gardner, the rookie who just came in. That's what caused Kenny to have to scramble out of the pocket.
3:47, time remaining in the first half. Rams now trailing Green Bay 17-3. Kenny has completed 12 of 23, 208 yards. Second down and 10. From the shotgun. Has lots of time and is on target. This time to Ken Thomas, the rookie from San Jose State, who was a defensive back there. The Chiefs make him an offensive back or a receiver.
The Chiefs are controlling the football by throwing it down the field. He's dropping back. He can't get anything open downfield deep, so his back is running a little under route. Dumps it off to Thomas. Big play for another first down.
Ken Thomas, number 35, the brother of Jarrell Thomas. So the Chiefs with a pair of with brothers. We've seen quite a bit of that around the league. Interesting enough. Flag is down. Pass is caught by Carson. Out of bounds inside the 4-yard line, but there were two flags dropped, one at the 31, one at the 35. That normally means offensive holding, and we'll bring it back.
Let's give credit to Kenny, though. That was an excellent throw, an excellent route by Carson. The ball was right on the money. Kansas City is, this game has really been a little bit sloppily played as far as all the penalties are concerned. This one really going to affect Kansas City.
Offensive holding, number 73.
On 73, Bob Simmons. Simmons, the offensive right guard.
Look to the right of your screen here. 73, Bob Simmons. As Kenny goes back to pass, you get an idea of what he's looking at. He just gets run over by Big Dave Butts, grabbing on for all he could get.
Kansas City penalized 3 times for 30 yards. First down and 20, incomplete. Carson, the intended receiver, Darrell Green, picked him up. Washington's been penalized 3 times for 20 yards. Yards passing. Look at the difference.
That's the story of the ball game right there. Bill Kenny having a good day, although they haven't scored any touchdowns. Penalties have really hurt him. Joe Theismann and the Redskins unable to move the ball through the air.
From a quarterback standpoint, why has Kenny been so successful?
Well, I think he has to be successful in their scheme. If he looks downfield and there's nothing there, he'll dump it off. But the Redskins, as we've said, will be more aggressive and let you throw the ball downfield, and he's been on target.
Second and 20. Throws deep. It is almost intercepted. Flag goes down. It could be on the offense, as there was some pushing and shoving. Anthony Washington almost had the interception. Could be offensive pass interference on Carlos Carson. He got caught in double coverage and was trying to get rid of one of them.
Washington is...
there was another flag on the far side of the field.
2 flags down.
And another conference.
This has really been a weird first half. I have not seen anything, this many penalties, and strange penalties that we're having in this shorter period of time.
Illegal contact on the defense. Offensive pass interference on the offense. The down will be replayed.
And I don't believe those were at the same area. I think
no, they weren't.
One was on one side of the field and one was on the other side of the field.
That's right. So it'll be second down and 20. Let's check the scoreboard. San Francisco leading St. Louis 14-7 in the second quarter. And Buffalo now in front of Baltimore 7-6 in the second quarter. And of course at halftime, NFL 83 will be showing you all the highlights and updating all of the scores around the National Football League today. Second down and 20 at the Washington 36-yard line.
Washington's threatening a blitz.
Pass is complete. Near the 15-yard line, caught at the 16 and falling inside the line is Anthony Hancock, with Mark Murphy and Darrell Green making the tackle at the 14. First down.
Murphy up there threatening a blitz, drops off into a zone coverage. Kenny's got perfect protection, reads it very well. Hancock runs a good route. You know, we said coming into the ball game, Charlie, that Kansas City had a good chance if they could throw. The Redskins' problems have been in their defensive secondary. Jarris White is not here. Lavender is retired. Peters is not here. And they have some problems in their defensive secondary.
A gain of 22 yards on the play to the Washington 14, first down. Little play action. Slipping away, underhand toss to Jackson. And a scramble for Kansas City just to try and get back close to the line of scrimmage. Mel Kaufman was there for the Redskins. And Liebenstein made the tackle. Why has Kansas City been able to be so effective going deep?
Because of the single coverage, the man-to-man coverage that the Redskins have played. Even though they're missing some 3 defensive backs in their secondary, they still continue to do their defensive scheme.
2-minute warning will be given to both benches. Kansas City leads 6-0. At halftime, NFL 83, all of the scores and highlights of the action going on today. And there is another score just changing. San Francisco leading St. Louis now 21-7. Here it is Kansas City out in front of Washington 6-0 with 1:57 left to go in the first half, threatening to add to that total. At the Redskins 14, second down and 10. Play action into the end zone. Incomplete, almost intercepted. Defensive play may have been by Carlos Carson, knocking it away from Darrell Green.
It's a big play there. Had a blitz situation. The Redskins are blitzing. I keep repeating this, but they're putting their defensive backs in one-on-one coverage in the secondary and giving opportunities for the Chiefs to make some big plays.
And that was Carson saving the interception. It'll be third down and 10, 14-yard line. And now Bill Kenny wants a timeout. He wants to talk things over. Stopping the clock at 1:53 left to go, second quarter. So he goes over to visit with his head coach, John Makovic. And we'll be going away for a moment. It is Kansas City 6 on a pair of field goals. Redskins have been shut out thus far. There is Nick Lowry, number 8. 2 field goals of 58 and 21 yards in the ballgame. Third down and 10. Kenny with pressure. It is incomplete. And he was really decked as he made the release by Perry Brooks.
It's who's going to get there first. Is the Redskins going to get to Kenny, or is Kenny going to get through the open receiver on the Redskins secondary? He had Marshall open, as you see right there on the top of your screen. Didn't have time to wait to get him the football, and that's what the Redskins thrive on, is pressure on the quarterback.
And so Nick Lowry with his 4th field goal attempt. He is 2 out of 3 in the game. This one from the 22, an attempt of 32 yards. He has a fundraising program for United Cerebral Palsy in Kansas City called Kick with Nick, similar to what Rolf Benerska has in San Diego, and it's good from 32 yards away. So all of the scoring in the ball game can be credited to number 8, Nick Lowry, but it totals 9 field goals of 58, 21, and 32 yards, missing left from 47 yards. Kansas City 9 and Washington nothing. A reminder that next Saturday, Playoff Fever hits NBC. So start the day with Major League Baseball, an inside look as we follow the pennant races. Then it's the baseball game of the week. Count on us to be there for the key games in the National League. The hotly contested pennant races are still very much alive. Don't forget, League Championship Series starts Tuesday, October the 4th, right here on NBC Sports. So Nick Lowry, boy, he's become a busy man today. He'll be kicking off.
Well, you stop to think, in the first 2 ball games, he only had 1 field goal attempt, in which he made. Here today, he's had 4 attempts and made 3. And we get the feel of this ball game. The Redskins offense has not done much, but they haven't been out there a whole lot either. And the more the offense is on the field, the more they create momentum for themselves. the less the defense is on the field, the better it is for them. And if you're on the field offensively, that's good. But if you're on the field defensively, you kind of play not as good as you could play.
It's a mental game. Defensively, you ought to be there for 3 downs, force them to kick. You've done your job.
You thrive on 3 and out if you're a defensive player.
Mike Nelms is the deep back, and he will take it to the 10-yard line, to the 20. Jumps out of a crowd again, slipping 2 more tackles, and fights his way to the 27-yard line. 17 tough yards on the return for Mike Nelms.
Here we see Ed Beckman, special teams player, coming down. Cronin's blocking on him, gets caught. 2 guys blocking him, gets in on the tackle. I'll tell you, Nelms is really tough to bring down. He just doesn't go down. He's been their offensive threat.
1:36, time remaining, first half. Theismann rolling right, has plenty of time. Now he rolls left. He's going to scramble with it. Has the first down to the 39-yard line. He picks up 12. Maybe the spark that the Redskins need. Blanton and Walker stop him there.
Maybe the spark that Joe Theismann needs. He's had a very difficult first half. The Chiefs are covering very well. There was nobody open on that play. He was scrambling around trying to find something, and sometimes this will bust something open.
We've got a timeout, so let's go back to that play.
It's a design rollout. Kansas City in his zone coverage. Nothing for Theismann. He's looking backside for the wide receiver. He says, I'm going to take off and run this thing. Nothing there. He just gets what he can and gets down.
Riggins, the lead blocker, with a little jersey grabbing and pushing and shoving, but
sometimes this gets them more involved in the game. You prepare all week. You try and find out what you're going to do, and it's like you're in a daze when you get in the ball game. I've done it before. Joe maybe be in that situation today, but if something shocks you out of it, a tough sack, a hard run, something will shock it out of you, and you'll come back and play well.
Interesting note of history, Theismann's first start as an NFL quarterback was against the Kansas City Chiefs. It was back in October of 1976.
Who won that ball game, Charlie?
Kansas City won it. 33-30, if you'd like to know the score.
Yeah, I see the score.
There it is. Got there just in time. Time of possession thus far completely turned around. Kansas City has now had it almost 16 minutes, and Washington just over 12 minutes. And remember, the first half, it was like 9 minutes to 6 minutes in the Redskins' favor.
And the thing that the Redskins have always done since they've been winning the last couple of years is control the ball. They control the ball with their running game, and they control the ball with Theismann's short little passes to his wide receivers and his tight ends. He's not doing that today.
Joe Washington, Nick Giaquino in the offensive setup. Theismann's pass is intercepted. Kansas City with the ball. It is Lloyd Burruss, and Burruss up and running. So the turnover, the interception, that is only the second interception for Theismann this year. So a break for the Chiefs, and they make their own break.
Here you see the secondary. Man-to-man coverage. Everybody's got somebody. The Chiefs receiver breaks out. Burruss cuts underneath him right there, diving for the ball. Makes an excellent reception. As you can see, there weren't many Redskins open for him to throw the ball to. Good coverage by the Kansas City Chiefs.
Don Warren, the intended receiver. Burruss, and of course, after the reception was all alone, after the interception, could roll on the turf and come up, and Kansas City has another opportunity.
It's his third interception of the year.
The other two against Seattle in the first ball game from the shotgun, trying to capitalize immediately, and it is there to Carlos Carson. Carson is out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. It'll be first down goal to go, 33 yards on the play. A first half completely dominated by Kansas City.
Big turnover. The Chiefs go immediately to the pass. Carson working on the rookie, Darrell Green, has him turned around. Excellent catch. Keeps his feet in bounds. Makes a good play up the sidelines.
Just inside the 5-yard line, it'll be first down and goal to go. When you think back at this first half, you think the Kansas City offense, but don't forget the Kansas City defense. They've taken everything away from the Redskins. Incomplete. Carson, the intended receiver, second down and goal, just inside the 5. Again, going after Darrell Green, the rookie from Texas A&I. Interestingly enough, last week the Eagles came out, first play of the game, throwing it at Darrell Green, and it was intercepted by Mark Murphy.
Well, I think Darrell Green, being a rookie in that secondary, is going to see a lot of balls thrown his way. Dean, the other corner on the other side, had a lot of balls thrown at him last year. But I think what the Chiefs have to do here is they have to throw. Second down, they have to throw third down. They're not going to get this ball in the end zone by running.
Kenny has completed 16 of 31, 275 yards passing in the first half. Terrell Thomas, Kansas City with a timeout. You're right. Boy, they're not going anywhere on the ground.
The Redskins have been too tough against the run. And certainly this is not an area to try and run the ball in. I think they ought to get their best play, their best offensive play, their strongest player against the other team's weakest player, and attack that area.
Now, this is a key conference. What is going on? What's the conversation?
They're talking about just what I said. What type of defense are they going to be in? They're going to be in their nickel situation. Washington is not in it now, but as soon as the timeout is over, they'll run everybody in to play their nickel setup. What the Chiefs will try to do is either isolate Carson or isolate Hancock, a one-on-one situation. Obviously, the Redskins may double cover those two people, or they may blitz. If they blitz, I think the Chiefs have a good opportunity of hitting one of those wide receivers and getting into the end zone.
44 seconds left to go. And, of course, this is third down and go. If Kansas City is turned away, Nick Lowery will come in, try and make it 12-0. So Kansas City had complete control of the game right now. Joe Gibbs, the head coach of the Redskins, has problems.
Well, he has big problems. His offense hasn't done anything. His defense is being thrown against at will by the Chiefs.
Looping pass into the corner, incomplete. Going to Carson. Anthony Washington picked him up on that timing pass, and so Nick Lowery will come in and try and make it 12-0.
First and 4 on the 4-yard line. Chiefs don't get a score. That's got to be very disappointing for the Kansas City Chiefs. This is a low percentage pass. This means that there weren't a lot of things that they felt like they could get open down there. Ball was perfectly thrown.
Yeah.
Should have had the ball.
Very catchable. Very catchable means that he dropped it, I guess.
You know, a lot of teams in that area will throw to their backs or their tight ends, but the strength of the Chiefs receivers catching the ball are their wide receivers, and that's why they went to Carlos Carson.
From the 12, an attempt at 22 yards. It is good. So it is Kansas City 12 and Washington nothing, as Nick Lowery is now hit 4 out of 5 field goals from 58, 21, 32, and 22 yards. The Kansas City offense moving up and down the field. Time of possession now in their favor. Total offense, total yardage in their favor, and the score in their favor. But they have not been able to move across for a touchdown. Program reminder, next Sunday, 12:30 Eastern Daylight Time, NFL 83 starts the day with a close-up look at San Diego's great tight end, Kellen Winslow. Then it's regional action. The New England Patriots taking on the Steelers, Cincinnati, an interconference battle with Tampa Bay. Kansas City's at Miami, Houston at Buffalo, and Marcus Allen and the Los Angeles Raiders will take on the Denver Broncos at Mile High Stadium. Cleveland will be in San Diego against the Chargers. Check your local listings for the game and time in your area. Mike Nelms is set for the return as Nick Lowery will be kicking off. 12-0 Kansas City. 37 seconds left to go in the first half. Trying to break up the return of the Washington Redskins. This is number 82, John Sawyer, a backup tight end and one of the upbacks who is there to block. And Willie Scott was down. No, it was Dean Prater who was down for Kansas City. So Washington has the ball at their own 31-yard line, their own 41-yard line. First down, 32 seconds, time remaining in the first half, and a very long first half of play. Washington is the remaining back. Theismann to throw. Pump fake once the screen left side is there. Goes to Washington on the screen. And he goes out of bounds. And a flag drop. In fact, the flag was in the air for like 2.1. Good hang time on the flag. Because it traveled about 10 or 12 yards. So the clock is stopped now with 23 seconds left to go in the second quarter.
Now, Charlie, this is the same Kansas City defense that just last Monday held the San Diego Chargers to 17 points and Dan Fouts to a lot less yardage passing than he's used to.
We've had also more conferences. And we've had some strange calls or strange infractions or different infractions than you normally see in the flow of a game. So Bob Frederick and his team of officials, his crew, they're getting quite a workout today.
They sure are. And, you know, we talked earlier about the amount of holding penalties. I think you have more holding penalties, especially Kansas City, a very passing
Offensive
team.
holding, number 68.
On Russ Grimm. So that takes the ball back to 30. Go ahead.
But I was going to say, when you're passing the ball a lot, you're an offensive team that throws a lot. Kansas City is going to be involved in a lot of pass holding because they throw the ball so much. But it's the percentage of holds, I think, that are important.
First down, 20. Wiseman slipping, then gets the pass off to Joe Washington. And Washington goes out of bounds at the 40-yard line. So he has 10 of it back. It'll be 2nd and 10. A check of the clock shows 16 seconds left to go in the first half. Thomas Howard was there for Kansas City. And the reason, of course, for that long delay in the conference with Kansas City, the last penalty, is do you want to refuse it, use it for down, or do you want the 10 yards? That's what the conference with Kansas City was about.
I don't think downs are important here. I think yardage. They want to keep Mosley away from kicking a field goal as long as they can, and that's why they took the penalty.
Second down, second down and 11. 16 seconds left to go, second quarter. Pass is juggled. It's intercepted. Kansas City has the ball. Giaquinto juggled it, and then coming over the top was Lucius Smith. And he picked it up on the carom.
You can't fault Joe Theismann for this one. He puts it right on the numbers. Giaquinto, usually a sure-handed receiver, juggles the ball up in the air. Smith with an outstanding interception. Good vision on the play. Comes up with good timing. Kansas City is really making the big plays.
So Kansas City has the ball just inside the Washington 43-yard line. Second turnover for the Redskins. They don't make turnovers. Both interceptions. 8 seconds left to go. Go up top very quickly.
Or throw ball down the middle and call a timeout if they can do that. But you're almost in Lowry's field goal range here. Maybe they'll throw something shorter.
This one is intercepted by Mark Murphy. Murphy is the interception for the Redskins. He's back to the 30, the 35. He's to the 40. He's to the 50. Time has run out with the interception and the return. Anthony Hancock was around Mark Murphy. So back-to-back turnovers. A lot of boos at RFK Stadium. And a strange and interesting first half. The score at halftime is Kansas City 12 and the Washington Redskins nothing. We are back in the nation's capital on this gorgeous day. And what a perfect day to drive through the Capitol because it's not that crowded. Everybody's at the ballpark. Nick Lowry has been celebrating his visit here at the nation's capital, and he has done it with 4 out of 5 field goals. This was the first one, a club record 58 yards, breaking the old record of 57 yards held by the self-same Nick Lowry. And since then, he missed left for 47 and then hit 3 in a row from 21, 32, and 22 yards out. All of the scoring off of the foot of Nick Lowry. Kansas City 12 and Washington nothing. And the Kansas City Chiefs dominating the game both offensively and defensively, but still we have the second half to come. We'll be back after these messages and a word from your local station. everybody. This is Charlie Jones along with Bob Greasy. We're here at halftime on a very warm day. Are you as surprised as I am that Kansas City has been able to completely dominate this game over the defending Super Bowl champion?
Well, I'm a little bit surprised at how well Kansas City's defense has shut down the Washington Redskins in their running game. I'm not surprised how well Kansas City is throwing, though, against the Washington Redskins secondary.
Now, you've been in a halftime locker rooms in this situation before, as has every professional quarterback. What are the Redskins discussing? What are they going to try and change in the second half?
They've been very successful for 2 years with what they've been trying to do, and that is run the ball with Riggins and throw it, mix it up. The problem is Theismann's not having a very good game, and Riggins is not playing very well either. We may see a little bit more of Joe Washington in the secondary.
Now, let's bring up a point about Joe Theismann. It has been stated in the papers here that he would like to renegotiate his contract. I mean, he has made that statement in the front office. The front office has not answered that statement. Does that have an effect?
Well, I don't think so. I think Joe Theismann is going to play as well as he can play. And if somebody comes up and says, hey, Joe, maybe we'll want to talk to you about your contract, I think he would be perfectly willing for someone to renegotiate his contract.
I think that was well said. You dodged that issue completely.
Just like a quarterback,
Just like
right?
a quarterback. Now let's take a look at the official statistics of the first half. Time of possession to Kansas City, yards passing to Kansas City, yards rushing to the Redskins. Kansas City on 21 yards rushing. Look at that. 275 yards passing. Total offense, total yardage, way on the Chiefs' side of the ledger. Yards passing, 275 to 36. Boy, that says it all. Jeff Hayes kicking off as we open the second half. Anthony Hancock is the deep back on the return. He's to the 10. Anthony diving across the 20 to the 21-yard line. Update on Tom Condon's ankle. It is a sprain. He will not be returning to the ball game. So Kansas City will start on offense. To open the second half, they'll have Kenny at quarterback and Bill having an excellent first half, as you just saw. Terrell Thomas, Billy Jackson, the running backs. Anthony Hancock and Carlos Carson, wide receivers. Henry Marshall also will be in there. Willie Scott and Ed Beckman will be alternating at tight end. Chiefs come out throwing. And they come out throwing successfully to Carlos Carson. And again, they're throwing at Darrell Green, the rookie left cornerback for the Washington Redskins. The one thing that the Redskins can say, they have, even though trailing 12-0, they have not allowed the Chiefs to score a touchdown.
There you see a good comparison of 82 and 83, what the Chiefs have done and where they rank. Ranked 6th this year. They're passing the ball very well. The Chiefs must continue to do that in the second half.
A gain of 8 on the last play, second down and 2. A fumble following the end of the play may have been blown dead. Terrell Thomas, the ball carrier. Darrell Grant was there. We'll take a look at that offensive line. Bob Rush is the center. He is number 53. Brad Buddy is in, number 66. 72 is Dave Lutz. Ellis Gardner has been in there, but Herkenhoff is in there now, Matt number 60. And Bob Simmons replacing Tom Condon. Defensively, the basic set will be Liebenstein, Butts, Grant, and Manley as the front four for Washington, with McGee and Perry Brooks coming in on passing situations. Kaufman, Olkowitz, and Malott, the linebackers, with Darrell Green, the man that they're throwing at, on the left corner. Ken Coffey at strong safety, Mark Murphy at the free safety, and Vernon Dean on the right corner.
As we said, Charlie, Coffey, the strong safety, is replacing Curtis Jordan, who is replacing Tony Peters. So they're down to their third strong safety. They have a rookie at cornerback, and Jarris White is still out of camp.
So now they're trying Anthony Washington at the strong safety, replacing Ken Coffey. First down for Kansas City at the 31, 2 yards on that last play. Willie Scott showing a little motion. Now he moves up as a tight flanker on the left side. Play action. I got a question for you. Kenny has thrown 2 or 3 passes like that, high and wobbly. And then the other times he is firing and right on target. What's the cause of the difference in the pattern of his passes?
I think at the very last minute, that man was covered there. I think at the very last minute, he's changing his mind about throwing the ball in there for fear that it's going to be intercepted, because he was very well covered on that play. And I think at the last minute, he's just pushing it over and letting the ball flutter out of bounds.
2nd and 10 of the Kansas City 31. McGee and Brooks come in for the Redskins. They look for the pass. Going on a quick count and rolling left. And sailing it along the sideline, incomplete to Carlos Carson. Pretty good timing pattern, though. Almost completed. Let's check the scoreboard.
Good play by Coffey.
Rams now leading Green Bay 24-17. And New Orleans out in front of Chicago 17-10. Here the score, Kansas City 12, Washington nothing. It'll be 3rd down and 10. Now as they come out of the huddle, 10 seconds in the 30-second clock. 6 seconds. They get the play off with 3 seconds in the 30-second clock. Incomplete. Going deep to Henry Marshall, trying to split the coverage between Mark Murphy and Vernon Dean.
Charlie, you were counting down the seconds to when they could get the ball off, and that's one of the problems when you substitute a lot and you call the plays from the sideline, is that the quarterback doesn't know who is in there or what the play is, and they have really a problem sometimes of getting the play in. They did that time there.
We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
WRC-TV, Channel 4, Washington, D.C.
Jim Arnold to kick. High but very short. Nelms, who does not like to free catch. Last time that he had a free catch was 2 years ago on a penalty, and it was fair catch interference. And that was, he said, they took the officials to call a fair catch. He said, I like the football. He's got the football. Washington has it. Kansas City has the lead, 12-0. We'll be back in just a moment. It's engineered like no other car in the world. By Heineken. Come to think of it, I'll have a Heineken. And by Honda, the world's largest manufacturer of motorcycles and ATC three-wheelers. Follow the leader. He's on a Honda. That last kick of Jim Arnold was good for only 32 yards. Washington with the ball at their own 36. And John Riggins is the setback. On the reverse, Charlie Brown to the 40. First down, 47-yard line. A gain of 11 yards on the play. Jerry Blanton and Lucius Smith with the tackle.
This is an interesting first call of the second half for the Redskins, who've been frustrated running the ball. They're going to mess up the defensive flow of the linebackers for the Chiefs with a little reverse. Charlie Brown comes around, makes a good run out of it. Big play.
We have an injured player. It is Lucius Smith. So we have an injury timeout. We'll be going away for a moment, and we'll be back. We come back to RFK Stadium. Albert Lewis, the rookie from Grambling, has replaced Lucius Smith at defensive cornerback. The Theismann goes the other way. Pass is complete to Alvin Garrett. Gary Green makes the tackle. And as the Redskins are on the move, let's move to NFL 83.
Thank you, Charlie Jones. Let's show you Franco Harris on the move. Franco inside the 10, cuts straight up the middle, lunges in, touchdown for Franco. Pittsburgh now leads Houston 19-7. Back to Washington.
So the Pittsburgh Steelers, thank you for that update. Lynn leading in that ball game here. Kansas City is leading by a score of 12-0, but the Redskins trying to get something going in the start of the second half. Here's Riggins. It was second down and less than a yard, and he got it with room to spare, carrying Thomas Howard and Ron Cherry with it.
You see it coming right at you. Straight blocking with the tight end coming in to block on 57, Blanton. Riggins doesn't need much more help besides that. 3-4 Kansas City players trying to tackle him. Burris getting knocked off by one of the offensive linemen. That's a big play, though, for the Redskins. They need to get their ground game going.
Riggins, 11 carries, 33 yards. That was the big gainer for him of 11. Riggins wants to throw. And that's the reason he runs so well with the football.
Well, the best thing you can do if they call your number on a halfback pass and the receiver is not open is to throw it out of bounds. The last thing you want to do is stop the drive by putting the ball in a wide receiver or running back's hand and having an interception.
As you take a look at the scoreboard, Riggins has told us that he feels like he's kind of like a boxer. The first half, he's just feeling everybody out. He'll get him in the second half. And he's certainly running with that kind of authority. You saw those two scores. We don't need to update you every time. So here we go. Second down and 10. Could be the key drive of the ball game if Washington is going to get back in it. Theismann, flag is down, pass is incomplete. Don Howard for the offense. Don Warren for the offense. Thomas Howard and Albert Lewis for the defense. Holding against the Redskins. What is the statement? It doesn't matter the number of penalties. It's when they come.
Well, that appeared to be holding from the start. When the head linesman on the side calls it looking into the backfield, it's usually holding on the offensive tackle on that side. This is just exactly what the Redskins don't need if they want to get a drive going. There's a penalty to hold them back.
Offensive holding, number 74.
On George Stark, that offensive line, Jacoby, Grimm, Bostic, May, and Stark. Don Warren, Rick Walker, the tight end. We'll see John Riggins as a single back. Giaquino and Washington as two backs in a passing situation. Charlie Brown, Alvin Garrett, the flanker, Theismann, the quarterback. Second and 20. The play action fake to Joe Washington, a pump fake. And then the pass is over the head of Giaquinto. Gary Green at the coverage. It'll be third down and 20 for Washington. For the Redskins with a little inspiration, and now it's trying to settle back against them with that penalty.
Well, they were trying to trick the Chiefs in that instance. They were trying to throw the ball out to Nick Giaquino. They pump fake to him, try to get Brown in behind the defensive back. Gary Green had none of it, and then Theismann came back to dump the ball off to Giaquino and just threw it over his head.
You saw San Francisco, and the Jets are having all kinds of problems with New England. Surprised about that.
I'm a little bit surprised by it, too. New England is not playing that well right now, but obviously they're getting their act together.
Third down and 20. In the coverage, a drop. Alvin Garrett had 6 points. Double coverage, but he got behind it in a good pass.
It was a good throw. The only place he could throw it. Here you see a blitz. Howard coming in. Cherry moving up to cover the back. Theismann sees it and immediately goes to the deep part of his zone. Gary Green coming over and making an all-pro play. Great play.
I did not see that move. Good coverage by Harry Coyle, our director, and our crack crew of Cameron. Boy, that was interesting. Couldn't see it from here. Green with an outstanding defensive play. Jeff Hayes to kick. Fair catch is called for and taken by Anthony Hancock just inside the 15-yard line. So Gary Green saving a touchdown. And Kansas City now has the ball. They have the lead. We're in the third quarter.
Tony Collins of the Patriots on the draw play. 23 yards. He has 192 on the day and 3 touchdowns. The Patriots lead by 10. Back to Washington.
I am still amazed. Still amazed with the Patriots. We saw them last week against Miami, and they did not look at that point like they had the kind of ball club.
They're 0-2 in regular season. They're 0-4 in preseason. They need a win.
City from their own 15-yard line. Fumble. Billy Jackson, the ball carrier. And they're still scrambling for it. Redskins signaled early that they had it. And the officials say that Kansas City recovered the fumble. Let's see if we can go into that file and figure out what happened.
Good shot of it right here. The ball has certainly been bouncing right. There you see it right there. The defensive lineman, Grant, knocks the ball out. The ball has certainly been bouncing right for the Chiefs. That is one thing the Redskins have done year after year is go for the football. The first man, if he's got a free shot, will try and knock the football out. Kansas City needs to avoid those.
McGee and Brooks are in. They're the pass rushers. Second and 10. Kinney to throw. And the pass is complete. Going to Ed Beckman. A flag down on the play, then picked up a fumble. One official says that, or is it an interception? And a flag went down and then was picked up. Vernon Dean for the Redskins. Let's go back and see what happened.
I think Beckman catches this ball, and then it may come out. It's out right there. He catches it before it hits the ground.
So it goes as an interception.
That's Vernon Dean, who caught the ball before it hit the ground. It's a good call by the officials. Big play for the Redskins, in good shape here to take it in for a score.
And good that you pointed out, because it was a good call by the officials, and it's a tough call. Okay, 22-yard line of Kansas City. Washington with the ball. Here's Riggins. 3 yards to the 19. Second down and 7. Jerry Blanton and Ken Kramer with the tackle. So now the Redskins well within field goal range of Mark Mosley. But what they need right now is a touchdown.
It's interesting, too, that we have not seen Mosley the entire ball game. He's been a big part of the Redskin offense, but all we've seen is Lowry kicking field goals for the Chiefs.
Joe Washington is set back as Riggins comes out. Second down, 7. Washington carries. Goes to the 15-yard line, so he has 4. It'll be third down and 3 yards still with the tackle.
Charlie Washington, Joe Washington, has really been much more productive than John Riggins. It's his style of running, that quickness, shoot through the hole, has been more productive. He's carried the ball 3 times for 31 yards in the first half, where Riggins only had 22 yards on 9 carries in the first half. So it's that type of quickness that's getting the yardage for the Redskins.
Redskins have not converted on third down. Third down and 3. Here's Washington, sweep left side. Good defensive play. Deron Cherry making the tackle. The Chiefs save the first down and has an extension of the possibility of a touchdown, and Mark Mosley will come in with a field goal attempt.
Again, you've got to give the credit to the Kansas City defense. Kansas City on 3rd and 3 going to a running play. Cherry reads it, comes up, makes a good tackle in the open field of Joe Washington. Mosley's in to try a field goal.
From the 25, an attempt at 35 yards. Out of the hole of Joe Theismann. He's got it. So Washington is on the scoreboard. It is Kansas City 12, the Redskins 3, with a 35-yard field goal by Mark Mosley. Mosley now this year has hit 7 of 8 field goals. Program reminder that next Saturday, Playoff Fever hits NBC, start the day. Major League Baseball, an inside look as we follow the pennant races in the baseball game of the week. Count on us to be there for the key games in the National League, where the hotly contested pennant races are still very much alive. Don't forget, League Championship Series starts Tuesday, October the 4th, right here on NBC Sports. And, of course, Harry Coyle, our director today, the coordinating producer for baseball, a legend. The man is an absolute legend in the baseball season. Not too shabby in the football season, but in baseball, he is a legend. I always want to tell my story about the first time I worked with him. 19 years ago, he said he didn't want me to tell it. He said, I've seen him come and I've seen him go, kid. After you've been around a while, I'll let you know how you're doing. I saw him this morning. I said, how am I doing? He said, I've seen him come and I've seen him go. I get the same answer every year.
Harry does a fine job.
Mike Mosley with that 35-yard field goal. And now Jeff Hayes will be kicking off for Washington. Off over the Chiefs, and they'll run it out of the end zone. This is Ken Thomas, Jarrell's brother, up to the 5-yard line. Ken Thomas making a rookie mistake. Should have downed in the end zone. And the other player, I believe Hancock is with him, should have pointed out, down it, you're in the end zone. Down it, you're in the end zone. They have to talk.
Here we see it again. This could turn around the momentum of this ball game. The Chiefs making mistakes. A fumble, an interception a little bit earlier, a fumble before that. Now this mistake by a young player should have stayed in the end zone, took the ball on the 20-yard line. So very important here that the Kansas City Chiefs get their offense going, at least make some first downs, and keep their defense off the field.
City from their own 5-yard line, first down. Play action. Going deep. And it is intercepted. Washington has the ball. Darrell Green, the rookie. Back-to-back turnovers. And listen to the crowd here.
Kenny on first down from his own end zone. He had the man open. He just underthrew him a little bit. Let the ball hang. Green cuts in front of him, makes the interception. You know, the defense for the Washington Redskins is really set up the play of this ball game. Here we see another angle of it. He just threw it up and over the top. The defensive backs wouldn't have been able to get there. Carson had a step on him. Turnovers have made a big situation in this ball game.
Turnovers now. Chiefs 3, the Redskins 2. Carson, shake it up. We've got a timeout. Let's go to New York.
Thank you, Charlie. Moments ago in Buffalo, Mike Pagel, the Colt quarterback, scrambles. He shoots it out to Curtis Dickey. Watch Dickey shake off Gary Thompson, goes 72 yards. The first TD against Buffalo in Buffalo in a year. And Baltimore leads. Back to you, Charlie.
Thank you, Lynn. We've talked about the Baltimore and becoming a very interesting ball club this year. Darrell Green also shaken up. He was the last one to come out. Carson came out. They're both okay. Washington with the ball. Riggins the setback. Theismann to throw. Goes to Riggins on a screen and it's incomplete. Interesting call. I'm not sure I agree with that call.
Well, that was an option screen. By that, I mean Joe had the option to throw the ball downfield if the wide receiver was open or dump it out into the flat to Riggins. He had a couple of offensive linemen there to block for him. But I'm really surprised how poorly the Redskin offense is playing. We've given credit to the Chiefs defense, but some of those passes, those little passes like that, should never be incomplete.
Atlanta leading Detroit now by 10 in the fourth quarter. Giaquinto and Joe Washington come in to the offensive set. Riggins comes out. Washington the remaining back. Giaquinto in as a receiver, and he goes in motion. Second down and 10. There's pressure going deep in the corner as a man open. It's incomplete. Giaquinto swinging down the sideline. Had a step on Albert Lewis. Pass just misconnected. Good call, though.
He had the one-on-one situation that he wanted. He just overthrew it a little bit. The coverage wasn't that bad. Here we'll see a good look at it from the end zone. Good protection. Just throws it high and outside where you should have thrown it just a little bit too much. Giaquinto was with the Miami Dolphins a couple of years that I was with the Dolphins, and is a good all-purpose back. Very intelligent, runs fast patterns out of the backfield. A good wide receiver if you need him. Good all-purpose player.
Theismann has completed only 5 passes, 5 of 19 for 45 yards, intercepted twice. Throws left, throws, it is juggled, it is caught by Charlie Brown, and he is out at about the 16-yard line. Should be a first down. Trent Bryant was there for Kansas City along with Lloyd Burrows.
Little sprint out, a straight sprint out. You see Grimm in front of him, protecting him. The short little pass. The nose of the ball was down. It was a little bit behind him. Theismann is really off his mark today. Usually he hits those things very easily right in the numbers.
16-yard line, first down. Riggins is back into the offensive set. That is the first third down conversion for the Redskins in the ball game. And we have still 8 minutes and 4 seconds to go in the third quarter. Riggins carries. 10-yard line. Gain of 6. Second down and 4. The Ron Cherry making the tackle. Had a lot of help. Because when you bring Riggins down, you need a lot of help.
You see Bostic snapping the hogs. Mark May, Riggins doing what he does best. Get started in one direction, let the flow of the linebackers go, and then he can cut back, and he's tough to bring down. You just can't bring him down with a arm tackle.
13 carries, 41 yards, second and 4, 10-yard line. Riggins to the 5-yard line. The first down and goal to go behind Joe Jacoby. First down, goal to go, 5-yard line. I would suspect we could see Riggins 4 straight times.
I think you're going to see, at least on first down, Joe may roll out one time and try to hit the tight end on one of his wide receivers. But I think he'd like to run this ball in.
Brown and Garrett, the wide receivers on the far side. It is Riggins. Riggins to about the 3-yard line, where it'll be second down, goal to go. Ken Kramer, the nose tackle, was the first chief to meet him. Then the rest of the tribe joined him. Joe Gibbs in the middle. The earphones on.
There you see the signal being flashed into Joe Theismann. The triple tight end situation is in for the Redskins. Walmsley, the blocking back, is in there. Probably be an I formation with Riggins in the deep position, and he'll probably get the ball running right or left.
Riggins, 48 yards, 15 carries. Riggins, maybe half a yard. We could call it the 2. It'll be third down, goal to go. Jerry Blanton leading the defense. Good defensive play.
Just good defense on the Chiefs' part. Walmsley was in there as a blocking back. Riggins carrying the ball in these situations, and it's tough to bring him down, even if you know who's going to carry it. Blanton getting over there, making the first hit, getting help from Walker. Big play by the Kansas City Chiefs. He's got another 1.5 yards, 2 yards to go.
Third down, goal to go, 2-yard line. Washington wants a timeout. Stopping the clock, 5 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in the third quarter. It is Kansas City 12, Washington 3. You're looking at 1 down here, or are you looking at 2 to go for the touchdown? Is that a decision you make with still 5.5?
Running with Riggins. But if they're going to throw the ball and they throw it incomplete, they probably will not go for it on 4th down. So if they're going to run, it's probably going to be a 2-down situation.
Look at the scoreboard. Which do you like in this situation?
Well, it's hard to say. Riggins has been your bread and butter. And the Hogs, the offensive line, have been so good for you. But today it's been very tough. I don't think they could be wrong if they faked into the line with Riggins and had Theismann roll out on a run-pass option, let him run it in or throw it if one of those receivers get open.
All right, and if the receiver does not get open, if it's incomplete, then you come back with the field goal and make it 12-6.
It's still 12-6, and you're only less than a touchdown down, and you got a 1.25 to go. Things have turned around for the Redskins in the second half.
The 2 interceptions, first one by Vernon Dean, second one by Darrell Green. Dean led to the 35-yard field goal by Mosley. And, of course, the result of the interception by Green is not known at this time. There's John Makovic, the head coach of Kansas City, now that that conference has been held. We've talked in the past about conferences. A lot of time it's a cold towel and Gatorade and relaxing time, but this was very specific of what we want to do on 2 down.
I think they covered a lot of topics over there, a lot of conversation. Let's look and see what they decided upon.
Walmsley and Riggins. Walmsley to block, Riggins to carry. Walmsley in motion. It's Riggins into the end zone. Behind the center, Jeff Bostic. 28-yard drive. 8 plays. Riggins going in. Redskins are closer.
Well, you see Mark May, a little trap block up the middle where the right guard pulls behind and blocks a defensive lineman from the side. Riggins doesn't need much of a hole. It's a good play by the Washington Redskins. They're back in this ball game.
Mark Mosley to attempt the point after. And it is good. So the margin has been cut to 2 points. It is 12-10. Kansas City will be back with the kick of the game. Third of the season, 37 rushing. New Redskins record. And now Jeff Hayes kicking it off. Fielded at the 6-yard line by Anthony Hancock. Hancock to the 20. He's wrapped up around the 22-yard line. Greg Williams for Washington made the tackle. So now the onus is on Kansas City. 24-24, Rams in Green Bay. San Francisco leading St. Louis 28-17. An injury timeout. Anthony Hancock is still down, who returned the kickoff to the 22-yard line. The Chiefs have to get something going here because old Mo has changed sides at halftime, changed jerseys, went from the red to the white.
Well, it's really been because of the ineffectiveness of the Kansas City offense. They've fumbled the ball. They've had 2 interceptions.
2 interceptions, one leading to a field goal, one leading to a touchdown.
And the other thing was the poor decision by Ken Thomas to run that ball out of the end zone, and they got poor field position on the 4-yard line. Let's take a look at Anthony Hancock and see where he may have been injured.
I think he got his head twisted all around. Whew. I'll give you a headache.
It's very important for the Kansas City Chiefs to reestablish their offense and come out and make some first downs and move the ball a little bit.
And their offense has been the throwing game. And they've been successful on first downs, almost 9 yards an average. Billy Jackson. He gets to the corner, and that's all. Neil Olkowitz was there, the linebacker for the Redskins. No gain. Second down and 10. So McGee and Brooks come in for the defense. They look for the pass.
They're looking for the pass with their nickel defense. And again, by nickel defense, we talk about it so much, but we mean extra defensive back comes into the ball game and a linebacker goes out. You're expecting him to throw, so you'd rather have a defensive back in there. You figure he's going to be a better coverage guy than a linebacker.
So you have 5 men in the secondary. Thus,
well, you got the nickel.
The nickel. Well done. Second and 10. Shotgun. Getting pressure, and there's the first sack of the ball game. And Mr. D got him. Dexter Manley is 4th of the year. 9th for the Redskins.
This is just a coverage sack. Tight man-to-man coverage in the secondary. So you see the defensive line trying to get in. Nowhere to go with the ball. Kenny has to eat it. And that allowed for the sack.
Third down, 16, loss of 6. Hancock back in the ball game as a wide receiver. Kenny going deep, far side. It is juggled. No. Carlos Carson did not have possession. And they're going after Darrell Green, but remember, he has an interception that led to the touchdown. It'll be 4th and 16, and the pressure now on Jim Arnold. Arnold with 3 punts in the ball game of 53, 60, and 32 yards. Mike Nelms is set for the return. He will disdain the fair catch. Arnold's average, 48.3. That's almost 16 yards above his average in the first 2 games. It is short, wobbly, taken at the 49-yard line. Nelms still on his feet. He bounces it. He can't find any room, but boy, he sure has spent a lot of time hunting for it.
He's amazing. I've never seen anybody as difficult to tackle as Nelms is.
Ed Beckman was down. John Zamberlin also down on the special teams. Watch him bounce around. We'll be back in a moment. Minutes, 16 seconds left to go. Third quarter. Kansas City leading by 2, 12-10. It was 12-0 at halftime. 2 interceptions leading to 2 scores. A field goal and a touchdown. Here's Reagan. Inside the 30 to the 26-yard line. 27 yards for John Riggins, first down. Ron Cherry finally makes the tackle. George Stark with a big block.
You see the blocking. The big hole opens up for Riggins. Cherry tries to pull the ball away from him. Riggins will have none of that. He's too tough to bring down. You need a gang of them. Big play. You know, the Redskins have gotten good field position in the second half due to the lack of good punting by Arnold and also the turnovers by the Chiefs offense.
First down at the 26-yard line. Riggins, 6 yards to the 20. Second down and 4. Jerry Blanton with a tackle. James Walker was also there. Mike Bell coming up from the stack. Boy, the complexion has changed in a hurry.
Well, it's mistakes for the Chiefs, running the ball out of the end zone. You can't make mistakes against a good team like the Washington Redskins and expect to stay in it. They're too good to shut them out.
Mark it at the 21, so it's 2nd and 5. Riggins, the remaining back, number 44. Theismann to throw. Alvin Garrett to about the 12-yard line. Jerry Blanton with a tackle. So Theismann has the Redskins on the mark.
This is just a little stop pattern. It's a 3-step drop by the quarterback. Throws it out to Alvin Garrett, who avoids Gary Green. When you're that small and that quick, they call them the Smurfs here in Washington. You have the small receivers. Just get the ball out there and let them miss a tackle. Big plays can happen.
Garrett, 5'7", 185-pounder from Angelo State. 12-yard line, first down. Riggins. They string him out, they cut him down. Good play. Loss of a yard, it'll be 2nd down 10. Jerry Blanton and Albert Lewis for the defense.
That was the same play that was successful a little while back in this drive for the big gain for Riggins. This time the Chiefs were ready for it and shut it down.
The Chiefs changed their defense. Redskins changed their offense. So we're looking at the pass as Giaquinto and Washington come in for the Redskins. 2nd and 11. Riggins now 82 yards and a touchdown and 20 carries. Remember, Kansas City leads by 2, 12-10. Theismann throws. It is caught by the second receiver. Touchdown. Don Warren has the reception for the touchdown. Giaquinto went up for it. And Warren came down with it.
You talk about things turning around for you. Not only momentum, but mother luck. Right here, he throws the ball right through Giaquinto's hands. Threw it too hard for him. Warren in the right place at the right time. We've got an interesting ball game.
Plays on the drive, 52 yards. Extra point is up, and it is good. So Washington trailing 12-0 in halftime. Now leading 17-12 with still 1 minute and 6 to go in the third quarter. 3 minutes, 10 seconds on that drive. Boy, an interesting, strange turn of events. And while we get set for the kickoff, here's a look at the rundown of it. NBC's coverage of football next Sunday. New England, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Tampa Bay, Kansas City, Miami, Houston to Buffalo. So Kansas City has their hands full going to Miami and the Orange Bowl. The Raiders at Denver and Cleveland at San Diego. Washington will be at Seattle. Jeff Hayes will be kicking off. And we've had a complete turnaround.
You know, Charlie, the Redskins have had the ball 4 times in this half, and 3 of those times have been deep in the Chiefs' territory. That's a big factor in the turnaround of this ball game. It's nothing that the Redskins have done. I don't think Joe Gibbs said anything that outstanding and change. It's just the fact that the Chiefs' offense are making the mistakes.
Picked up at the 6-yard line by Hancock. And he returns to the 28-yard line. So 22 yards of the return. Otis Wansley with the tackle. And we had Wansley isolated, so we'll take a look as he comes down on the special teams.
I think there are about 4 or 5 people on the Washington Redskins kickoff team that are really headhunters as they're going down. Wansley is one of them. They've prided themselves in being the best in the league year after year on special teams. That was a good shot of wide.
Time of possession, look at that. 3.5 minutes to 10.5 minutes. Kenny is Hit just as he throws. Flag is down. He's going to Terrell Thomas. Dexter Manley was putting the pressure, holding against Kansas City. Now you're back to the 18-yard line. It's 1st and 20.
Kansas City is doing nothing in the second half offensively to help their defense. John Makovic said before the game that the defense has really kept them in the game the first 2 games and really won the ball game for them. Their offense is a lot of show, a lot of pass, but the defense is what's won the game for them, and now the Kansas City offense is making it very difficult on the defense.
Offensive holding, number 73.
It's on Bob Simmons, right guard.
On the right of your screen, you see him grabbing on to Dave Butts.
And holding on. Sorry to grab a little and let go. They won't call it, but you can't hang on.
There's a lot of them to grab
That's
onto,
true.
too.
Penalties are equal, 40 yards on each side. Screen. Billy Jackson. Jackson to the 25, to the 30, to the 33-yard line. Good play. Anthony Washington making the tackle. So they got 15 yards back, and it'll be 2nd down and 5.
Back to normal. 2nd and 5, good situation to have.
Joe Theismann enjoying the second half a bit more than he enjoyed the first half.
He's still having a very off day by Joe Theismann standards. He's usually very high completion percentage. Today, he's much below 50%.
Mel Kaufman has come out with a shoulder problem. Stuart Anderson has replaced him at linebacker for Washington. Terrell Thomas, right side, 1st down, out of bounds, stopping the clock now with 5 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. It is a 1st down. And this is, of course, what Kansas City needs. They need to, we mentioned it earlier, but offensively, you want to hold the ball. The longer you can hold the ball, the longer you can move it, the better mental attitude that you have, and the more things that you can do as a quarterback.
That's true, and the more confidence you have, not only the quarterback, but the entire team, and the longer the defense sits on the bench, the better they feel about it. They don't like to be out there getting their heads battered in all the time.
Gain of 7 on the last play to the 40-yard line, 1st down. Little play action and a sack. Rich Malott got him 2nd sack for the Redskins. Strange call.
1st down play action, which Rich Malott is on a blitz. That's why he's in the backfield, and he made the play.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter. Redskins lead it 17-12. Back after these messages from your local station. 15 unanswered points in the 3rd quarter.
Well, as we said, the Kansas City Chiefs offense is really creating situations that Joe Theismann and the Washington offense can take advantage of, and they cannot continue to do that against a good team like the Redskins.
Can the Redskins continue, or can Kansas City come back?
The game is up for grabs. The Chiefs got to get some momentum going back their way.
2nd and 16, Kansas City, their own 34-yard line. And we have flags going on the first play, or before the snap of the ball on the first play of the 4th quarter. And the scoring by quarters, 3-0, then 12-0 at the half, and 17-12. Washington coming back. Here's the call.
Encroachment number 6-5.
Dave Butts called for encroachment. Of course, that's moving across the neutral zone, making contact prior to the ball being snapped. So move the ball up to the 39-yard line, and it is 2nd down, 11. From the shotgun. As a man open, it is Carson. He's out of bounds. Carlos Carson open on the far side, and he had about 5 or 6 yards between the closest defender at the Washington 36. Mark Murphy was the man who had the coverage, and here's another look.
The key to this play is the protection that the Chiefs line has given him. He's had problems. The Redskins have been getting in there. It's an excellent throw. Murphy playing the deep half of that side of the field. Good throw and a good catch by Carlos Carson.
And a gain of 25 yards. 1st down, Kansas City, Washington 36. This time he missed Ed Beckman, throwing behind him. And it'll be 2nd down and 10. You might point out also, it's a warm day, not that hot a day. It's in the low 80s, but we've got a long ball game going.
A lot of passing, a lot of incomplete passes are going to stop the clock, so therefore you're going to have a lot of plays. I was surprised at how many possessions each team has had. I think they each had 8 or 9 possessions in the first half. Normally 13 in a game is normal.
So right now we're looking at a ball game that's going to last in the 3-hour and 20-minute range. Bad snap. Kitty drops it, finally recovers it, tries to pick it up. Tony McGee was chasing him. The ball is now on the Kansas City 44-yard line. Now the snap was at the Washington 36.
Just a poor snap. I don't know whether the ball was wet or slippery or what. You know, sometimes the defensive lineman will fool around with that football while the other team's making their plans in the huddle. They may drop some sweat or something on it and throw some dirt on it. Been known to do that. I don't know if the Redskins did it that time, but I'm sure they're aware of that.
A loss of 20. It goes in the book as a sack, so it's 3rd down and 30. Just behind Carlos Carson, and he was open. So Kansas City, even though they will have to give it the ball here, Anthony Washington, the coverage, can move against Washington because the receivers are open, and they're deep receivers. They're in that 25 to 30-yard range.
If they have time to throw, Washington continues to play man-to-man coverage in the secondary, and you can, even though it's 3rd and 30, you can complete the ball downfield.
Jim Arnold will be kicking to Mike Nell. Good hang time. 15-yard line. 4.6 seconds to hang time. A good punt for Jim Arnold. Dean Prater down very quickly for the Kansas City Chiefs. We've got a timeout. Washington, they lead by 5. King charge by Federal Express. Why fool around with anyone else? And by Budweiser, proud sponsor of the U.S. Olympic team. For all you do, this Bud's for you. Washington with the ball on their own 17-yard line. 13:41 left in the game. Will they start using the clock? Play action. Faking to Riggin. Over the middle. Pass is complete to Rick Walker. To the 42-yard line. Well, that answers the question.
That was a good call by Joe Gibbs on the sideline. A good fake by Theismann. Way down deep in their own territory. You figure they're going to run the ball out of there with Riggins. It's a good play. Here we take another look at it. Good protection up front. Holds Walker, the number 54, the linebacker. Just throws the ball around him.
Good catch.
Gets him out of good poor field position.
Ron Cherry making the tackle. Redskins had the ball at their own 42-yard line. Theismann now 8 of 23, 102 yards. A mix-up. But a yard for Theismann. It'll be 2nd down and 9. Jackson was there to cover him. Let's see what happened. I think the snap came a little too soon, didn't it?
You know it did. The center was a little bit quick. Either he thought he checked off, and that may have made the snap count a little quicker, or else the center was thinking about something else. But whatever the situation, Theismann wasn't ready for it. 2nd
and 9, 43-yard line. Giaquinto and Washington are in the offense as Riggins comes out. Here's Washington. 47-yard line, gain of 4, so it'll be 3rd down 5. Ken Kramer with a tackle. Another thing about the way that the Redskins used Joe Washington, spelling Riggins, you mentioned earlier the difference in the running style, but also here we are with just under 12 minutes to go in the ballgame. Washington is a fresh runner, fresh leg. He's ready to go.
It's very true. That's the advantage of having more than one back that can come in late in the ballgame. Riggins certainly has still got a lot left, but Washington adds that other dimension.
3rd down 5. Giaquinto in motion, reversing. Theismann pass is good to Washington. He has it at the 48-yard line of Kansas City. Maybe the 47, but it's the 1st down. Jackson and Bryant were there for the defense.
we'll take a look at Theismann. Washington this time coming out of the backfield. He has an option. He can either break inside or to the outside, depending on how the defensive man has covered him. This time he wanted to break outside. Theismann followed him. Big first down.
Injury report on Lucius Smith of Kansas City. He has a sprained ankle. He will not be back. He's been replaced by Albert Lewis. It's a first down. The mark is the Kansas City 47. Riggins is back in. Riggins is in the block. Pass is thrown far side. Is complete to Walker. They'll mark it the 41-yard line. A gain of 6. Second down 4 with Burris and Cherry on the tackle. Now, Washington is doing to the Kansas City defense almost like the mirror image of what Kansas City was doing to the Washington defense in the first half.
Theismann has settled down a little bit. I think the fact that he's got his running game going has given him some confidence that it's not pass first and run second. It's run first with Riggins and then pass second. And I think that in itself has given him more confidence, and he's throwing the ball a lot better.
Here's Riggins. Within a yard of the first down, so it'll be third down and 1, maybe 1.5. Mangiero making the tackle, the nose tackle, playing with Ken Kramer at that position for Kansas City. Joe Gibbs, head coach of the Redskins, 42 years of age in his third year. The Redskins record is 1-1. The Chiefs record, 1-1. 39-yard line, so it's third down, almost 2 yards to go for the first down. Wansley and Riggins. So you look for the run with Wansley to block and Riggins to carry. Which also means, of course, then you look for the fake. Wansley in motion. And there's the play-action fake.
Open down.
All alone, nobody with it. 10 yards of Didier. Touchdown, Washington. Touchdown of the year. We'll check to see if it's the first of his career. It is. In his second year. 12th round draft choice in 81. Portland State first NFL touchdown. 58 yards of the drive, 6 plays. It took 4 minutes, 21 seconds. Mosley with a point after. Boy, that's right between the uprights. 24-12. The Redskins lead. Let's go back to the fake.
A short yardage play fake. Kansas City was up to stop the run. Theismann faking. Didier comes open from the far side. You could have even hit this one, Charlie. This was so wide open.
I could have caught it, too.
Albert Lewis, responsible for the coverage. The rookie in there because of the injury. Kansas City, big play.
He's to kick off for the Redskins. Anthony Hancock is the deep back on the return. 9 minutes and 20 seconds left of the game. Hancock to the 10. To the 12-yard line, that's it. Again, the special teams for the Redskins. Didier was there, who just scored the touchdown. Now on the special teams, makes the tackle. Kansas City has very weak field position at their own 12-yard line. Now, first half, Kansas City 12 unanswered points. Second half, Washington 24 unanswered points.
And those 12 points that Kansas City had in the first half, a lot of them were almost touchdowns. They got the ball down there, they couldn't get it in, they had to settle for the field goal, and now it's costing them.
There is the fourth sack of the ball game. For the Redskins, Neil Okowitz gets this one. That is their 12th of the year.
It's a little blitz. Okowitz is coming up. Defensive line has really controlled this game. The Redskins defensive line in the second half. There you see Okowitz making the sack. The momentum has really changed, and it's because of the defense of the Redskins and the inability of the offense of the Chiefs.
4 sacks, 40 yards. Lost to the sacks. McGee and Brooks are in with a pass rush. 17 of the last 18 with 3 or more sacks. And they've got 4 today. And they're leading by 12. Second and 17. James Hadnot got 3 yards. The third down and 14 as we pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
WRC-TV, Channel 4, Washington, D.C.
8 minutes and 2 seconds left to go. It is Washington 24, Kansas City 12. This is Charlie Jones, Bob Greasy. Kansas City with 4 field goals, including a 58-yarder in the first half, led 12-0, and since then, it has been the burgundy and gold of the Redskins. Deep over the middle into coverage, incomplete. Henry Marshall, the intended receiver. Vernon Dean was there. Along with Mark Murphy, Ken Coffey was also in the area. So it'll be third down, and the crowd tells the story here. And I tell you what else is going to happen. The Redskins are going to have great field position. They could score again.
Nelms is standing on the 50-yard line, so you figure he's going to get some yardage even from there.
Jim Arnold to kick. From the 46 to the 40 to the 35, 31-yard line. Lewis Haynes down for Kansas City. Washington has the ball. Washington has the lead. 39 yards on the kick. The return in the neighborhood of 14, 16 yards for Mike Nelms. The Redskins do have the field position. This only the second half. Time of possession, total yards, tells the story with the score.
Total yards is really tells you the story of the second half.
Joe Washington is the running back, and Washington is a sweep. Now he stops, reverses, slides against the grain, has about 5 yards to the 26, where Dean Prater makes the tackle, and it'll be second down and 5.
See John Makovic discussing some pass patterns, I'm sure, some ways they can get some people open in the secondary of the Redskins.
And now Mark May came back to the huddle, and he was limping, number 73 for the Redskins. And the officials, they call an injury timeout. They call it on themselves. He was sneaking back in. He didn't want anybody on the sideline to see. So we've got a timeout with exactly 7 minutes left to go. Washington has the ball, and they lead by 12. To go. There are 2 former announcers now working their way through the crowd here very quietly. Theismann completing now 12 of 26, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Riggins 82 yards on 20 carries and a touchdown. Washington is in the backfield. Ken Huff has replaced Mark May in the line. Washington to the 20. He should have the first down. Thomas Howard makes the tackle. Now you've talked about the field position that the Redskins have had in the second half.
Charlie, the Redskins have had the ball 6 times in the second half. 5 of them have been inside the 50-yard line of the Kansas City Chiefs. They've gotten it on the 36-yard line, the 28, the 48, the 42, and this last time on the 31-yard line. That tells you their defense is making some things happen for them.
And the 2 interceptions. The first one by Vernon Dean leading to the first field goal. The second one by Darrell Green leading to the touchdown, and that is what put Washington right back in the ballgame. They have a first down at the Kansas City 20. Joe Washington close to the 15-yard line. So they're picking up 5 yards a crack. Second down and 5. So as the Redskins try to move in to score, let's check the scoreboard. Final, New England defeating the Jets by 10. Big, big upset. Fourth quarter, they may have overtime, Rams and Green Bay. Pittsburgh big over Houston, leading in the fourth by 19. New Orleans 31, Chicago 24. What has bum wrought down with the Saints? Got a good ball club. Atlanta leading Detroit 27-14. And fourth quarter, Baltimore just in front of Buffalo. And Joe Theismann will call a timeout with 5 minutes and 18 seconds left to go here. It is Washington 24, Kansas City 12. Here, you just don't want to make a mistake.
Well, maybe he forgot the snap counts. You know, that happened to me one time. We were playing the Super Bowl against the Vikings, and I went up the line of scrimmage, and I was thinking about a play I was going to check off to. And when we got up there, I forgot the snap count, and I didn't know who to go to. So I said, I'll ask Langer, the center. Well, I didn't want Page and Eller and Marshall to know, so I said, I'll ask Zonka. He's right behind me. Well, the snap count was on 1, but Zonka said it was on 2.
That gives you an idea where his mind was.
And he said it so loud that I'm sure everybody in the stadium heard it. But as I said, it was on 1, so that's fine with me. Or on 2, so I called for the ball. It was come up on 1. Nobody moved. And the Vikings didn't move. They heard Zonka. They thought it was on 2 also. So sometimes it could be just a simple little thing like forgetting the snap count.
I love it. All right, now let's check an update of that Buffalo score. Oh, Buffalo has scored. How about that? 28-23. Now leading Baltimore.
Baltimore playing much better than last year, obviously.
Yeah. 42-20, and also scoring a lot of points against that Buffalo defense. Very good defense. We saw him the first week.
Yes, we did, and they had not allowed a touchdown in something like 4 games to be scored against their defense.
15-yard line, second down and 5. 5 minutes, 18 seconds left to go here in the fourth quarter. Washington leading 24-12. Joe Washington is the remaining back for the Redskins. And he will end up losing a couple of yards on the play. Thomas Howard makes the tackle. They'll mark it at the 17. So it'll be third down and 7. But right now the Redskins are playing a game with the clock. Now they lead by 12. The field goal gives them a 15-point lead, or 2 touchdowns plus a point. So that's what they're doing. They're running the clock down.
They've been in this situation so many times in the past. They know it so well. Theismann knows he's got probably one of the 3 best kickers in the National Football League on Mosley, waiting to kick a field goal. He doesn't want any turnovers. All he wants to do is eat up some clock, bring the field goal kicker in, let him kick the 3 points through the uprights.
Total rushing yardage in the game: Washington 136, Kansas City only 33. Theismann rolling, knocked away. Good defensive play by Ken Kramer, and then the only thing that could have saved it or made it any better was if he could have found the ball in the air for the interception. So here comes the kicking team, Mark Mosley, with 4:25. Mosley 1 for 1 in this game with a field goal from 35 yards, so he's 7 of 8 on the season. He is now 30 of his last 32. From the 24-yard line, an attempt of 34 yards. And he's got it from 34 yards away. And that could close the book, 27-12, with 4:20 left to go. Let's see what the Kansas City Chiefs can do. They have had receivers open deep. We'll be back with a kickoff in just a moment. Bob Greasy, 27-12. Redskins leading the Chiefs with 4 minutes and 20 seconds left to go. 27 unanswered points in the second half. Jeff Hayes will be kicking off. Anthony Hancock is the deep back. On the return for Kansas City, he takes it a yard deep, and he'll down it to bring it out to the 20-yard line. Showing 1 yard deep, showing the respect for the Washington special teams.
I think in a situation like that, Charlie, you're down this many points. An opportunity for a big play doesn't present itself too often, and the kickoff return is certainly one of the times when a big play can occur. He should have come out with that ball.
There you see a pair of finals. Green Bay defeating the Rams in a game that went back and forth. So Kansas City from their own 20-yard line now with 4:15. Time remaining in the game. And again, Kansas City has had deep receivers open. And Kenny is sacked. That is the 5th sack for the Redskins. Their 13th on the year. This is Dave Butts who got it. He now has 3 on the season. Dexter Manley also there in the neighborhood. But we'll kind of spread it around.
You know, you're a quarterback. You're getting a hard rush. Obviously, the Redskins know you're going to throw. The Redskins were in a zone coverage. You cannot wait that long and expect your people to get open. If you don't have anybody, you got to take off running or throw the ball to an outlet. But you're going to get sacked if you hold the ball that long.
Bill Kinney sacked 5 times today, sacked only 4 times in the first 2 ball games. He's lost 49 yards attempting to throw. This one is incomplete. James Hadnot, the intended receiver, so it will be 3rd down and 19. Back at the 11-yard line, Mel Kaufman at the coverage for Washington. 3:39, time remaining.
330 yards passing for the Chiefs and Bill Kinney. Certainly some successes there, but also in the second half, they really put their defense in difficult situations and really turned around the momentum of this ball game.
And the most pass attempts, 46 by Bill Kinney. Now that ties the club record that Lynn Dawson holds. Then he set it in Buffalo in 1963, and right here he'll break it. That is 6 sacks now for the Redskins. Tony McGee got this one, his second on the year for his career, 102.
I know how Bill Kinney feels right now. Tony McGee, when he was in New England, and did that to me several times. He's a big play man. They bring him in for pass rush only, and he can get after it. They call him Mac the Sack. Man coverage. Kinney steps up and looking around. Hello.
6 sacks, 53 yards lost attempting to throw. Jim Arnold will be kicking. 4th and 24. Mike Nelms will give the Redskins good field position once again. Nelms 6 returns for 54 yards. Whistle sound, flags go down. Jumping catch by Nelms. Hang time 3.8, none of it counts. We're going to have a regrouping. Delay of game, violation of the 30 seconds. About the only penalty that we missed.
Delay on the offense.
Charlie, we've really had 2 games here today. The first half was Kansas City. The second half was Washington. But you got to give credit to the Redskins. They didn't panic. They didn't score the first half. They came back the second half and took it to them.
Arnold on a quick snap, quick count on the snap because he didn't have a lot of room to work with. Nelms on the return from the 50. And he has maybe 6 yards on the return. Pretty good kick from that position, about 48 yards. And a hang time of 4.9 seconds.
An excellent kick coming out of your own end zone.
Don't forget Nick Sanity, Playoff Fever, Major League Baseball, an inside look. We'll start it all off. And we'll be following the key games in the National League and the hotly contested pennant races. Don't forget, it all leads to the League Championship Series starting Tuesday, October the 4th, right here on NBC Sports. So Washington has the ball, the Kansas City 44-yard line. 2:47 time remaining in the ball game. Joe Washington in the backfield, 27-12. The Redskins completely dominating the second half and taking over command of this game. Washington 4 yards to the 40. Stopped in midair. 2nd and 6.
Joe doesn't weigh enough to cause that pile to fall down. They just held him up.
They didn't even do a deep knee bend, did they? 56 yards for Joe Washington and 10 carries. John Mackovic, the head coach of Kansas City, on the far side. Saw this game get away from him, but you have to credit the Redskins. They just played a super second half. Their defense gave them a couple of key breaks, and they took advantage of them immediately.
I think John Mackovic is going to turn that program around at Kansas City. He is open with his players. He wants to go out and do things the right way, and he is building a good program.
And now the 2-minute warning will be given to both benches. The reason for the 2-minute warning? Well, we have some rule changes. But we also have a chance to present to you just one more of those happenings in professional football. We call it a fantastic finish.
Alcoa presents Fantastic Finishes. 1978, Giants 17, Eagles 12. All Joe Pisarcik has to do is fall on it one more time. Wait a minute. What's this? A handoff. There's a fumble. The ball is loose. Herm Edwards grabs it and romps to victory. With less than a minute to play, Philadelphia stuns New York 19-17 with the miracle of the Meadowlands.
The rule changes. If you have an injury in the last 2 minutes, the player has to come out, or it's a charged timeout, not an injury timeout. Kickoff, the clock is not starting until the ball has been touched in the field of play. Hand off to Joe Washington. Washington scoots for the first down to the 31-yard line. Gain of 9 and a first down.
He is so elusive and such a tough man to bring down. The reason is because of his feet. He's got such quick feet, quick movement, upper body makes a move right here, gets up inside a burst, gets down before anything big hits him.
Could we see that again? Do we have time to see that again? I just noticed his shoes. They seem to be different than everybody else. Are those quick shoes that he's wearing? There they are. Well, at least they're close to the team colors, so okay. He falls forward from the 30 to the 29-yard line. Clock continues to move. First half, look at that. Total yardage, 296 for Kansas City to 101 for the Redskins. Second half, 214 to 77 on the other side of the ledger.
Difference in the first half and the second half, Charlie, is that when Washington got down there, they capitalized and scored the touchdowns, whereas the Kansas City Chiefs did not.
Those shoes of Joe Washington are called mud shoes, by the way. I just want to let everybody know that that's what they call it. Here is Otis Wansley replacing Washington, and that could well wrap it up. He moves to the 22-yard line, and we'll take a countdown of the clock. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Michael Weissman. The coordinating producer of NBC's football is Ted Nathanson. Today's game has been excellently produced by David Neal. And, of course, the old veteran, Harry Coyle, the director. Bill Toby, our TD technical director. Steve Rosen, our associate director. And Mike Hadley,